There we go. Testing. Nice. All right. Yeah, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon, good night, wherever you are, however you be. All right, regulars know the drill. We'll give it 5 or 6 minutes here, and then we'll do a full top down on BTC. We'll go take a peek at Ethereum, maybe a couple high caps like Matic, Stacks. Ooh, I gotta add Arbitrum to my list here of stuff. Yes, yes. We like Arbitrum, even if it's overvalued. I mean, I actually don't think it's overvalued. Shit's probably gonna go up like 3 or 4x. It's Killa, my best friend. That doesn't sound right, but it's good to see you, brother. Discover you thanks to Pierre's retweet. Pierre retweeted me. No cap. That was sweet of him. What a freaking angel. Pierre's a one-of-a-kind individual. You don't find people like that often, man, I swear. Well, thank you, Pierre. And thank you, AV Gustin, for tuning in. But yeah, we'll give it a few minutes here, and then we'll get going. I haven't even paid, like, any attention to Bitcoin the last week. It's just been so boring, like... Who cares about what's happening in here? The scalpers love it, right? There's scalpers out there. The 2% that are actually frothing over this range that are making bank. I am not one of those people. I'm the kind of person that trades this range and gets shit on, so. Yeah, so I'm not touching this. I'm not touching Ethereum right now. We do a little low cap trading. All this crap in my charts. Get it off. $16 people. Ooh, the Pierre retweet is very powerful. Let's see. DIKO, Rect, stocks. Recovering. Tech looks pretty good. Tech actually looks really good. Tech might be out of the woods, as they say. What is that one setup called? The Chuvashev's fork or whatever? What is it? It's something like that. Anyone know what that pattern here is called? It looks something like that. Chuvashev, maybe. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm pretty sure that's not accurate. How I've drawn it there, but let's get that. We're getting the Hopium in the chat today. This is gonna be a Hopium stream, guys. We're gonna do some real analysis, but we're gonna be injecting a lot of Hopium directly into the veins. So be ready for that. Yes, Chuvashev's fork. That's what we're doing right here on the NASDAQ. And if we do it on NASDAQ, we're going to do it on Bitcoin. Yes. Yes, it makes sense. Bearish Hopium? We could do a little bearish Hopium. We could inject a little bearishness into our veins. Just a little bit, though. We want to remain bullish. That gets the views, guys. Even if it doesn't make sense. with thumbnails and stuff? Absolutely, dude. We actually have a cool new intro. I mean, I could probably do most of this stuff. I'm just lazy, but we have a new intro, outro I've been meaning to use. It's probably going to be very loud, too, if I play it on stream, but we're going to play it anyways. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We're professional up in here. It's beautiful. Yeah, I need to get that going at the start and end of my streams, but we'll work on it. I'll let you know if I can't figure it out, though. I appreciate it. All right, 17 people. We'll go ahead and get started. You guys know me. I pretty much repeat the same stuff on Bitcoin about 10 times, so it'll all get said. Let's go to Bitstamp. Let's see what we're working with. So the monthly actually looks better than it has looked in a very long time. When we get on the weekly, you'll see it's a little bit trickier. Here's what everyone's concerned about, right? Everyone's concerned about this, you know, and I think it's pretty valid. And we'll use our good old n=1 hypothesis that last time it happened, we went right through it. So naturally, this time it happens, we'll just go right through it, I guess. I don't know. Probably not. The best thing to do if you're trading Bitcoin right now, guys, even though there's all the bank stuff going on and the $5 trillion being printed by the US and all this different stuff, the best thing for most people to do is just trade it level to level, right? So main levels that we got on the monthly, mid 45s, low 30s, and you know, you could extend this. No, everyone likes to do like a big bucks. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of obnoxious, but in reality, I mean, this is all kind of a big area of potential resistance. So we'll keep it nice and tight, but in reality, you know, we could top out anywhere kind of in here. And then I'd say above like 32, 33, that's kind of where we get the big gap up to 40s. You know, if we can really start to clear like this general level. I think there's a good VWAP level in here too. Let me see what it was. I think it's at, I think last year's value area high is 32K. So we'll say this, if we clear 32K, or rather, if we're accepted above 32K, then we can see expansion up towards mid 40s. And this is kind of my big picture target for this year, mainly because this is the 61.8 fib from the top of the bull to the bottom of the bear. And that's pretty much exactly where we stopped the last time. And I guess this comes down to whether you genuinely believe this is some sort of echo bubble, or if we're just going to kind of slow grind to new highs, which is sort of what happened the previous cycle, right? We didn't bounce up big and then nuke and go sideways for a year. Instead, we kind of sideways for a year at the bottom, and then we just slow grinded it all the way to new highs. I mean, where's the echo bubble? There's not really one, but I would say the biggest candles here are the breakout candles and this candle, which is right before the halving. And where did that candle stop? Right at that 61.8 fib. And then from there, it's hard to tell in a log chart, but from there it dropped 40% after the halving. So this 61.8 level is pretty big the last two cycles. So I think it's pretty reasonable to see it topping out there again. Again, we don't really have good sample size, so it's not really something to go off of, you know, and open a 10x long on or anything, but historically it's lined up well, and I also like that the 61.8 lines up with the key lower high before we broke this low, right? So, big level, clear 32, expansion to mid 40s, but really, is anyone in the stream trading Bitcoin? You know, is anyone here really doing that? Probably not. You guys are here for the low caps, but we're going to cover it anyways because we really want a good Bitcoin market structure to keep swinging these low caps, because low caps are the highest of the risk bets, okay? And if it's not a risk-on environment at all, big money's probably not going to be touching low caps, at least on size. All right. Now, let's look at EMAs. We're kind of just in the middle here. My favorite monthly time to be long is when the 8 EMA is rising and trending above every other EMA. And it's pretty clear to see the bulk of the bull run. In fact, this is the only time it's even happened where the 8 got almost all the way below the bands. You can see here we kind of came halfway down. Here we came almost all the way down. I think BLX should have a little more history on that. We came almost all the way down, but the majority of the bull run is going to happen when the 8 EMA, this teal EMA, is trending above every other one, right? Which happens here, here, and ideally will happen, you know, somewhere in here, maybe in the summer or Q3 or something like that. Right now, we're still kind of in the muddy middle. Okay, we're still kind of in this little territory here, right? Where we're so stoked. We're so stoked to get a little candle like this. Let's take off log because it's not even that impressive. We're so hyped for a candle like this that we're forgetting that, you know, the meat of the move looks like this, right? Looks like this, not just one candle. But anyway, so once we're trending nicely above, like I said, 30 to 32K, and we get that 8 EMA all the way up here, and we're trending above it and holding it and all that good stuff, then I'd be more confident saying we're in a bull market, as if the label really means anything, right? All that matters is the trend. And right now the trend is up, so we simply trade the trend. Hey, welcome, Don. Thanks for tuning in. You didn't miss much yet. And then cyclically, we've still got plenty of room to run in this monthly cycle. No signs of that turning around yet. And momentum is rising, which is good. But sort of like the EMAs, it's not quite perfect because we'd really like to be trending above this teal 0 line. You can see over here, we still have negative momentum values. While we're not decreasing, right, in momentum anymore, we're rising, come back the other way. Just like with the whole EMAs thing, the majority of the bull market will take place when we are trending above the 0 line. We're still in the muddy middle. Okay, which is great. I mean, think about how much opportunity there has been the last 3 months, and this is just the muddy middle. This is just the start, potentially. So, I know a big question on a lot of people's minds, especially those who have been in this for a while, are we going to get another cycle, right? And for me, there's no doubt about it, we're getting another cycle. Unless somehow we get some crazy development in quantum computing, in which case, I mean, who cares about Bitcoin? If that happens, I mean, you know, everything's fair game, right? Nuclear launch codes and all that crap. If that doesn't happen, if the government does not, every government in the world does not come for crypto and try and find a way to shut it down, which I don't know if they even can, then we're going to get another cycle. But the bigger question for me is, are we going to get another cycle that's even crazier than the last one? Because that was my thought after the first cycle. My first cycle was 2017. And, I mean, everyone still had the same thought back then. Are we going to have another cycle? You know, it wasn't as solidified as it is today that Bitcoin is around. It's a thing. It's going to be here. You know, it's accepted now. The big wigs are talking about it. Institutions are in and out. Institutions were in last cycle. They'll be in this cycle. 2017 was a little bit different. They weren't really in. You know, some of them were in, some of the early adopters. But most of the big institutions were not really doing much with it. You know, maybe JP Morgan was doing stuff, a few of the big guys, but now it's just kind of accepted as a big thing. But then the other question was, are we going to really see something as crazy as this again? You know, altcoins went up like 10, 20, 30, 50, 100x in the new high push. And then alts did nothing for a while. Bitcoin went up 10x. And then at the peak, altcoins did another 10 to 100x. Think about Rye blocks and stuff like that. So we had two, you know, and I'm sure the breakout down here, just like we're seeing here, had some crazy opportunities. So you really had 3 major opportunities in this cycle to make bank on altcoins with a 100x on Bitcoin in between it. So the question going into the next cycle was, damn, is it really going to be that crazy? Even if we get another cycle, is it really going to be that crazy again? And I don't know about you guys, but I think the last cycle was even crazier. Not for Bitcoin. You know, we did 100x this time on Bitcoin, and then this time we did what, like a 30x or 15x? And so this time maybe we only do, you know, like a 5x, which is still great. I mean, $100,000 Bitcoin. If we can't get to $100,000 Bitcoin, I mean, this shit's kind of a joke. Not really, but Like, if we can't even go 5x from the lows in this cycle, with all these banks failing, with trillions of dollars being added to the treasury and all that crap, I mean, Bitcoin's kind of a joke then, right? But, you know, for those of you guys that were really around heavily last cycle, DeFi summer was bonkers, man. I mean, there were 10x's out the ass as far as the eye could see. 50x's were not uncommon. I had one. Anyone remember Unipump? We had Unipump. I think we longed the bottom after seed sale dumpers got out, and then in an hour or like 2 hours, it went up like 50x. It was absolutely batshit crazy. And that was just this. Looked like nothing had happened yet. We weren't making new highs on Bitcoin. We didn't even really have a clear shift in market structure yet. That was just the beginning. And then this push, excuse me, you know, Ethereum's going crazy. A bunch of high caps are going crazy. Mid caps, low caps, all going crazy. And it kept going, it kept going, it kept going. And then we had a rough patch. But then even on this, you know, this is when Spell went up 100x. You had all these, you know, other layers having crazy stuff like Spirit Swap on Phantom, Boo, all this different stuff going crazy across every ecosystem. I mean, if you ask me, it was crazier than 2017. And also, it was way more liquid. You could do a lot more with, you know, a lot less money if you wanted to. But now, the question comes up once again, is this cycle going to be even crazier than that was somehow? And I guess that just depends on where you think we are on, like, the adoption curve and all that stuff. Are we still in the, you know, the early majority? If this is Bitcoin's cycle, you know, big picture, are we, like, in here? Are we still in here somewhere? Are we in the middle? Are we already, like, really late in Bitcoin cycle? Are we still super early? I think we're somewhere in here. Which, in my opinion, you know, we're going to get steeper as we're going up here. I kind of ignore the shitty drawing. But big point being, I do think that this cycle is going to be the craziest one yet. We're going to have the most amount of money in crypto that has ever been in crypto. And right now, it still feels a little bit PvP, right? Like, it's not, you know, we're not getting a billion new entrants into crypto every day. Like, a lot of people that got out of it are still out of it. Just like, you know, like I said, the majority of retail action was in here, right? And we got out of the bear market like here and here, right? So we would not expect everything to be crazy with crypto just right in here. But already we're seeing tons of opportunity available. I mean, you know, even just off the lows, there were so many good moves to be had on mid caps and high caps. And now in the last month, we've seen some crazy action on low caps. So anyways, babble. Let's go ahead and get back to the actual technicals. I know it's a Hopium stream, but we do want to look at the actual facts. And a fact for me is we're still very early in this, okay? Let's go ahead into the weekly. We've kind of exhausted the information on the monthly. Weekly looks a little bit better. Again, of course, major area of concern, this general region here. All right, I would not really expect us to get through this on the first test, which is right now. So I would not be surprised if we keep consolidating, chopping in here, and then maybe we go back and we test this this weekly 8 EMA that's rising up here. It's right around 24.5K right now, right? And the same way we're looking to be trending above the monthly 8 is the same with the weekly, right? We'd like to be holding that on any test of it. So that would also line up really nicely. Let's get rid of that for a second with a retest of this general region, right? Right at 24.5. If we throw up the EMAs on the daily too, we're going to see the same thing. This is key EMA support. That's really where we want to see the buyers come in. And at the worst, I would say maybe we go back down to the start of this big engulfing candle, right? Which is like 22K. I really don't want to see us get below 22K. It starts to get really gross at that point. And, you know, already there's been so many people trying to get the position right. We'll go back to the weekly in a second, but everyone's trying to take the right bet here. You know, are we going to break out to the upside from here? I got to be mega long. Are we going to just, is this distribution? It's going to nuke. I got to be mega short. And all it's done is just bait everyone both sides. You know, we had this disgusting candle here that ran all of these stops. We're going down. Got to get short. Okay, short the bounce, short the bounce, short the bounce. And then you get stopped out. And now probably the same thing again, right? Now people are going to be betting long on the higher low here just to get stopped out on the move back to support down here. Right? All these daily EMAs are almost certainly going to catch if you ask me. People are just getting chopped and chopped and chopped day after day. Right? The best thing most of us could do is just piss off for a little bit. You know, like focus on your work, focus on your family, focus on your hobbies, whatever. Come back to this once we escape from this range. Or if you really got to, you know, just take a small bet both ways. And whichever way we end up continuing, you know, you just cut the opposite, right? If we get some good continuation below the lows, cut the longs, let the short ride down to support. We get continuation above the highs, cut the short, you know, let it ride up until resistance, whatever. You know, if you really have to be exposed, maybe try and play both sides of it. Or you could be doing pairs trades. You know, if you're long Bitcoin, maybe you're short an altcoin that looks crap. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to short, so I haven't really been paying attention. But I know, obviously, people talking about shorting Matic, right? Like, this is the kind of structure that you'd like rather be short. This looks kind of crappy on the daily versus something like Bitcoin. You have a lot of good demand below it. You're still holding the daily 8 EMA. Why would I really want to be short this when I can short stuff that already looks terrible, right? Anyways, I'm not advocating being short at all. I don't think, you know, you always have to be short or long. For me, if I'm in cash, I'm short. I'm betting that I can buy stuff cheaper. That is short. Right? I'm not leveraged short. I'm not going to make money on the way down, but I'm preserving some of my capital. And for me, that is making money because that's going to let me get more stuff that I want for a cheaper price. Right? Anyways, this is not the kind of candle I want to fade. Is another big thing. I don't want to short a candle like this. Whether we're going to top out right after here, whether we're going to go a little higher, top out, retrace. It's just not the kind of candle that I want to short. I mean, think about this candle, right? Did anyone who shorted even remotely after that benefit? Sure, you had a moment in time. You had a moment where maybe you could have made some good money if you're shorting on the way up. But like, you know, after this candle, that was 21K. We went to 25. The middle of that's like 23. What, maybe you made 10%? Oh, but I could be on 50x leverage, which means I could have made like 500%. Like, okay, I mean, maybe if you nail it. But at that point, you know, you just get faded immediately by the bulls. Why even bother? I'm not trying to hate on shorters either. Like I said, there's people that are doing it right now, probably a small percent of active traders that are actually doing really well. You know, they're flipping short, they're checking their bias, right? They know when things are looking euphoric on lower time frames, they're hedging with a short. That kind of stuff, that's fine. But, you know, if you're flat crypto and then you're opening shorts too, I don't know. It just seems like kind of not the best bet. You know, the max you're gonna make is 100% if it goes to zero, right? But if I'm leveraged, I'll make a lot more. Okay, because we all know that 90% of the people we know that made it in crypto made it on leverage trades, right? No. Most people did not make it on leverage trades. You know, some people did, like Loma. Loma obviously made big money on his leverage trades, right? Or what's that guy's name? Alex Weiss. Dude made a killing in the bull run just trading leverage Bitcoin. So it's doable, but the majority of people involved in leverage are getting shat on. Me. I get shat on when I trade leverage half the time because I get more emotional. I start to question my decisions more. I start to get greedy. I start to think, bump it up a little bit more, tighten the stops, right? But anyways, I'm not here to go on a spiel about leverage, but the big point here, this is not a candle I'm fading. I'm not saying market in long, but if we get a pullback, for me, it's a buy. I'm going to assume that this candle is going to hold and that the demand that came in for this candle is going to once again come in again somewhere 22 to 25K. So I'll be looking for bids. Okay, what do I think of ARB? We're definitely going to do ARB. Personally, I think it's at a fair value right now. I was thinking earlier at the start of the stream it's kind of overvalued, but honestly, $1.30 is pretty fair value for the amount of circulating tokens there are. And genuinely, if Bitcoin holds up, it's probably going to go to $3 or $4 this year. That's my take on it. I sold my airdrop at like 130 to 140 on the way down. Maybe I'll bid some perps. But it's not really my main focus. If ARB goes up, I'm really looking more focused on Arbitrum ecosystem tokens. I think they're going to outpace it. Now, if you're looking to hit size, then yeah, ARB is definitely the move because you can hit fat size on that shit right now. I mean, there's a lot of volume right over there. Versus a lot of the low caps on Arbitrum. Like my main Arbitrum low cap bag is Swapper. And I've had this for like, oh, here we go. Since August. I honestly forgot I have it. I forgot I had it for months. And then right here at this 3-cent low, I almost puked it. But then I got a phishing warning or something when I opened the app, the Swapper app, and I was like, ooh, maybe I don't want to approve the contract to spend it. I was like, we'll let it go. And then the next day it rips up to like 20 cents. So this is my only real exposure to Arbitrum right now. And I got some Plutus DAO and a couple other little bags here and there, but that's the kind of stuff I'd rather be in if I'm just looking to nibble, you know, $1,000, $2,000 here or there. If you're looking to hit 100K bid, you know, 500K, then yeah, I think trying to ride ARB is going to be a pretty good move. But you're going to need a good Bitcoin uptrend, I think. I think if Bitcoin starts getting heavy, it's going to get gross for this. Because then people are going to be like, screw it. I'm losing money everywhere else. I want to secure my Arbitrum airdrop, right? And already right now, to me, this does not look very good. You know, maybe we hold right in here, but here's what I'm seeing, okay? This is the main trend that was going on. It was a little bit of a downtrend after the dump, right? Downtrend, and boom. Now we've got a new uptrend. If we lose that here or make a lower high and roll over, I don't want to touch it until this new downtrend is, you know, back in an uptrend, right? So for now, I guess it's okay as long as like 125 holds, right? If you can keep this little flip going on. But below there, this is looking kind of gross. 6 billion TVL, I mean, that's a lot, right? And what's the market cap? I mean, it's not even like, I would expect Arbitrum to be like top 20. It's 40. I mean, this is what freaks everyone out. Like the fully diluted is 12 billion. Like, this doesn't really matter when we talk about current price action. This matters as far as long term goes, for sure. But why can't this go to 50 billion? I mean, didn't Cardano fully diluted? Everything was out. You know, go to Cardano's still $12 billion. It's Cardano. Fully diluted 16 billion. The peak it hit almost 100 billion on its own, and it has nothing. There's nothing going on here. Not a single thing interesting whatsoever. And people be like, oh yeah, Arbitrum can't hit more than 15 billion. I've done some calculations, and there's no way Arbitrum can hit more than 15 billion fully diluted. Why? What a strange like reason to say it can't go up anymore. It's because the fully diluted, like. So genuinely, this does not seem overvalued to me. I think this is. I mean, I'm starting to convince myself this is honestly not even quite fair value. I'd say fair value is a little bit higher than this. Everyone's comparing it to Optimism, which is like about half the price. And there's, in my opinion, there's really nothing happening to Optimism. I've never had any desire to trade there or reason to trade there. Versus Arbitrum, I quite like Arbitrum a lot. Not just because I got free money. I've liked Arbitrum for the last year and a half. I mean, it's been the easiest to use ecosystem to be involved in, and the stuff there has been, you know, half decent. There's still plenty of crap, but it's been half decent. But anyways, I'm not really looking forward to touching this, honestly. Especially if we start to break 125. If you hold here, right, this is kind of like your line in the sand, if you will. If you hold here, things look pretty decent, but below $1.25, it looks kind of gross. Anyways, let me get my final thoughts out on Bitcoin, because I know I'll drive myself insane if I don't, but right now it's just a chop fest. The way I genuinely see this, if we lose this 8 EMA on the daily, then we're going to like mid 24K, right? This last little area down here. Okay, this is just going to be a magnet, if you ask me, and I'm looking to load up. Now, I'm not saying you got a knife catch, right? You know, you can wait for a higher low to be produced. You can wait for the new 4-hour downtrend. You can wait for that to flip back bullish, whatever. But I'm looking to bid, right? Like pretty much max size. ICP launched. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, ICP launched at 100 billion market cap without dilution. Does anyone even know anything going on at ICP? Does anyone even know anyone that was involved in it? That nobody does. There's nothing going on. I mean, maybe now after all this time, there's something going on there. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but it certainly was not a worth 100 billion valuation. And if you took all the stuff that actually hit 100 billion valuation, and then you put Arbitrum at 100 billion valuation, I would say Arbitrum at least maybe deserves it, right? Like it's the best. Is it layer 2? Is it another layer 1, layer 2? I can't remember. I guess it's layer 2. But it's the best of anything that has actually hit 100 billion, except for, of course, Ethereum, right? Like what's some other stuff? Like Dogecoin, does that deserve to be there? Matic, you're telling me there's better stuff going on in Matic right now than Arbitrum? Probably not. I mean, I don't dislike Matic. It's fine. I wouldn't say it's my favorite ecosystem, but it's $10 billion, and it's pretty much fully diluted, right? But it's still $10 billion with the current market cap. I mean, why couldn't Arbitrum be $10 billion market cap? I don't know. Anyways, enough about that. I do think that assuming Bitcoin holds here or makes a higher low here, and then continues up towards mid-30s, maybe even mid-40Ks, I think Arbitrum's going to be going to $3 to $5. I mean, it just makes sense. So I'm not looking to short it. I don't know if I'm looking to long it. I might just not touch it. I might just play around an Arbitrum ecosystem. But I do think it's going to be going up higher. Matic code is not even forkable. It's copyrighted. Really? I didn't know that. Are they going to stop me from forking it? They're going to come after me? I better not joke, dude. They might really do some shit. All right. But anyways, yeah, I guess I don't really have much more to say about BTC. I'm genuinely expecting something along the lines of this. Either this is a lower high we're making right now, and we're going to roll over to daily support, or maybe we make one more high up to like 30K, and then we get a big nuke because, oh, big round number, 30K. Like, I could see that nuking us for a little bit. But after that, I think in my opinion, we're pretty much golden after that for mid 40Ks. Like, I know a lot of people think it's kind of an obnoxious target this year, but I genuinely think we can get all the way there. Will it happen next month? You know, will it even happen before summer or during summer? Maybe it happens Q3, Q4. I don't know. I'm not really willing to go out on a limb, be a hero, and be like, July 15th, 2023, Bitcoin will be at $46,000. I mean, it doesn't do anything to say that. It's just kind of out my asshole. Ooh, Radiant. Ugh. No, Radiant Pog, by the way, it's Pog. But I'm just coping because I was watching Radiant like a hawk last year. I had so many of my friends telling me to get in, and I just completely whiffed it, dude. That's not what I want to see. 8 months, that's the one. Like, I had so many friends shilling it to me back here. And then, classic me, by the time I really started to give it, like, a good look, you know, it looks like this. I'm not buying it. Which is so stupid, dude. It's one of my biggest flaws as a trader. I see something up that consolidated so obviously for months on end, and it like, pisses me off that I didn't get it at such a good... Oh, sorry. It pisses me off I didn't get it at such a good, like, fair range, that now that it's broken out, as soon as I buy it, it's gonna nuke back, like, and then I don't get in before an actual Giga Moon. Like, everything that went up 100x was up 2x at some point. Yet my mind, like, fights me on it. Like, bro, you're gonna buy the top. Oh, it's like I got so much PTSD that I just couldn't get into it. But no, I think it's a really great project. I'm kind of 50-50 split on whether Arbitrum as an ecosystem has, like, temporarily topped or not. Like, this kind of looks blow-offy. You know? Typically, blow-offs are not just, like, you know, like this. Typically, blow-offs are like, whoop, ooh, whoop, and then whoop, whoop, right? So this kind of looks blow-offy, but, you know, I mean, it consolidated for, like, 6 months. So maybe this is just, like, a retest of the old highs or something like that. I don't know. I think fundamentally I like this. I don't know enough about it to say whether or not this is fair value, right? I think, personally, liquidity on it is pretty bad. I mean, $1 million liquidity on a $150 million market cap, that's not very good. Like, I mean, for example, like, look at one of my favorite LSD projects, Revest. Revest has $1 million liquidity at $3 million market cap. Like, you can ape this. This is just like $1 million liquidity at 150 million. That's kind of sad. I'm not trying to knock it or anything. Again, like, I got buddies that are still in it. I assume it's decent tech, and clearly the price action is saying it's decent tech. So, you know, it's up basically 10x from the range. You know, middle of this range is like 4 cents. Well, not up 10x anymore, but still up a lot. So yeah, I think it's good. Definitely one of the best projects on Arbitrum. Like, absolutely up there with GMX. I would say this is probably second or third best. I'm just bitter because I missed out, you know? I'm willing to admit that. But sorry, I can't give you an honest opinion on fair value just because I don't know enough about it to actually give it a real value. Vela, I've heard a lot about that, but that's one I really just didn't look into. Is this the right one? 2 months? Yeah. $1 to $8 to $3. Okay, so it's kind of in the middle of its area right now. $40 million. See, look at this. $40 million. It's got twice the liquidity of Radiant. At a third of the a fraction of the market cap, right? I just like to have a lot more. I got in at $2.52. Got in at $2. Oh, you're talking about Vela. Gotcha. Once again, I mean, you know, we could peek at it, but I'm sure I'm not going to be able to get a full fundamental rundown. This one. In just a couple of minutes, but what's their TVL? Do they have TVL? Is that a thing for this? What is this that I'm even looking at? Oh, there's another pair with even better liquidity. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. It looks like this is the best liquidity, but regardless, new era of oh yeah, no. I'm totally about this, dude. I think perp dexes are going to be a huge narrative in this bull market. I mean, in this last bear market, we have seen the absolute obliteration of centralized exchanges, right? Like, everyone's just praying Binance and Coinbase don't go under now, because if they do, we're just freaking screwed. So I think there is massive room for the perp dex narrative to go absolutely crazy. Velatine's been weird with upcoming airdrop. Sketch, yeah. Bottom, as you can see. It's in just a beta right now. Okay. 100x leverage. Pog. I'm in. Oh, big brain holdings. Right on. I mean, this for me is a good narrative, right? Price action looks okay. It looks like it's just kind of gearing up for another big push. I think it needs to, for sure, break out of this little downtrend it's in. Because for now, we're seeing a 4-hour downtrend like this, and it's yet to be determined if this is going to be another lower high or not. But I think it looks okay. You know, I'm going to have to leave it up to you whether this is fair value. Oh, you're saying the bottom of deck screener. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I got you on their pad. I'm gonna happily take your word for it. I mean, 6 million liquidity on a $40 million market cap coin is very good, because you can ape in, you can ape out on size. Message retracted. Ugh. Shit, I want to know what it was. I didn't get to see what it said. Damn. I bet he was calling me the N-word or something. Anyways, I wouldn't say the chart is my favorite. I think it looks okay. You know, once you get traction back above $6 again, it starts to look a little bit better. But, yeah, it looks fine. I really like the liquidity ratio. I don't know about TVL or... Are people using the beta? I mean, has there been a good response for the beta? Apparently there's something sketchy with the airdrop coming up. Maybe that's the play, just long after the airdrop, once people nuke it out. It looks okay. All right. I do think I wrapped up on. I think I wrapped up on Bitcoin. You guys get it, right? Bitcoin. We're either going up or we're going down, right? Or we're going sideways. I mean, that's basically it, though, for real. And then as far as other high caps go, I mean, I think Ethereum trades a little bit better right now, especially if you're range trading, right? I mean, range traders are having a freaking blast, right? You know, they're covering and going short up into the highs, right? Long down in this same range here. I mean, it's been great for the range traders. I'm just a shit range trader, so I'm not really touching it, but you know, when we break out from here, it's gonna get super volatile. I'm still leaning towards kind of a bar back down. Same for Bitcoin, but I need a better chart. The higher time frame looks pretty decent. It just really is suffering the same questionableness as BTC. You know, are we gonna break through this on our first go? I really just don't know. I'm not confident in it. UI is incredible. Okay. And I do think genuinely perpdexes have a ton of room to grow into, you know, potentially billions of dollars. Yeah, okay, X listing will probably push it. I can see that. 4 billion in 2 months? That's pretty damn good. What is that like on average? On average, that's like 60 million a day. That's pretty damn good. I mean, no doubt about that. Still have Bard. I do still have Bard. Yeah, I'm kind of trapped in this one. I bought basically at the same price we're at here on this candle, like right in here. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, it's basically at 0, so I'm kind of just holding on. Like, I don't really want to puke it into 0. I mean, if we're getting slow rugged, then of course, you know, you want to get out with what you can, but Google Bard still is not, like, really created a hype wave yet. You know, ChatGPT's had a pretty good hype wave, but no one's really talking about Bard yet. And just for reference, guys, this is not Google Bard. I don't think this is a good asset by any means. I don't think this is worth much of anything. I don't know what they're actually doing with it. I think it's some kind of AI, like, image and text generation kind of thing, but I don't know if there's real value here. I'm solely in this to ride a Bard hype wave. People Google Bard, they're in crypto, they want to buy something related, boom, they buy this, right? That's the only reason I hold it. And so maybe we can break out of this nasty little downtrend it's been in and get a killer move, right? That's the only reason I'm in it. Maybe we get some hype when Bard actually comes out and, you know, Google's marketing it and stuff like that. I mean, that's a good idea. Why not? Buy 1 Bitcoin, sell 1 Bitcoin. Buy 1 Bitcoin, sell 1 Bitcoin. Buy 0.1 over and over and over and over. Build up your volume stat, brother. We did not go through 0x0. I guess we'll do that now. I'm sure there's tons of people interested in it after the absolutely batshit run that it's gone on. I mean, very reminiscent of Wu Trade and Spell vibes, right? And now we've got a pretty nasty top in place. But, you know, it doesn't really surprise me that much. I mean, it went basically straight up. I have not seen a set of daily candles like this in a minute. We had pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in a row straight up, with the last one going up. Man, my stupid doodle's in the way. The last one up 76% in a day. That's pretty insane. Right? Like, you're not seeing that very often. So, I'm not at all surprised that we're getting a little pullback. I was very fortunate. I'm just going to delete this for now. Very fortunate to de-risk my investment and some good profits into a penny. That was my goal. When I first got in down here, I aped the range, and then I giga-aped this range. I upped my size 4 or 5x. And I said, all right, well, if we get to a penny, around a $10 million market cap, I'm going to take out my initial, and then we'll ride the rest to $50 to $100 million market cap. And that's exactly what I did. And now we simply wait and see if the plan comes to fruition. And the new plan is that the privacy DEX that Sir Enigma, the main dev behind 0x0, I'm gonna chime in here too. Do you guys call it 0x0 or are we doing OXO? Because OXO flows much better out the mouth, but 0x0 sounds better because, you know, it's like Ethereum address, 0x blank, like 0x0, that's hype. But OXO you can just say so much easier. 0x0 is almost like a tongue twister. Try saying it 10 times fast, it's impossible. But anyways, the thesis is that right now, the mixer is being audited, okay? So the V1 of the mixer is already out, right? And it's free. There's no fees to use it, but it's not audited. So personally, I ain't touching it. I don't care that I love the project and making a ton of money. I'm not touching something like that that's not audited. So right now, they're working on V2. I think V2 might be live, but I just found out yesterday it's not accruing fees yet, right? They're waiting until it gets audited. I think not solidly. Who's auditing it? It's I can't remember. Oh, Solid Proof. Solid Proof is auditing it. Should be done. The audit should be through in the next week, or it could be the next few days, but maybe it's like the next week or something like that. And then V2 of the mixer will be live, okay? And that should start accruing fees for every 0x0 holder, right? And you don't have to stake to get that. Eventually, there will be a front end, a UI that's built so you can see how much ETH you've accrued and you can claim it, right? That's just not, they're not working on that intensely yet because they want to get this DEX running and they want to make sure everything's good to go with their products that already exist, right? Should call it XOXOXO, yeah. You call it OXO? Yeah. It sounds nicer, right? Even though it's not that, but all right, I'm gonna try it then. OXO. I'm gonna try and get it in my mind. But anyways, they're working on getting this audited. When that's audited, they've mentioned before that they're thinking of doing it that if you hold like 1 million OXO, then you don't have to pay any fees on the mixer, right? Which is a good incentive to actually buy 1 million OXO if you're planning on mixing a lot of stuff. Like me, I mean, I know the regulators are watching the stream right now, but I'm probably going to mix stuff at some point, right? Like, there's so many people, you know, like I sold some yesterday on OXO, OTC. I didn't nuke the market, guys. This was not me. And then I went and bought a new shitcoin. And I noticed, 10 minutes later, there's someone else who's in on OXO buying the shitcoin too. Why? Because they're watching the wallets, right? They want to, they're saying, this guy banged out a winner on OXO. I'm going to follow him whatever he does. The same way I used to follow Messi, the same way people follow people all the time. I'm not blaming him or hating on him, but I don't really want that. So I'm going to be doing some mixing. So it's definitely in my interest to hold 1 million OXO so I don't got to pay fees on all that. Likewise, the people who don't want to do that, they're going to be getting paid, or they're going to be paying fees that are going to go directly to OXO holders. That's a big win. And then the big win, in my opinion, is if Enigma can pull off the fully private DEX. Now, there's been some questions on whether it's actually possible or not. I'm not a coder. I have no clue whatsoever if it's possible. But so far, he has shown to be a stand-up individual. And my main, I don't know the word for it. My main means of communication with him, other than just DMing him on Telegram, is through the community manager, Jay, who is an absolute angel. And he seems very confident in him. So I'm going to remain confident in him too. I think he's going to be able to have this come out. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would personally love to trade on a DEX without everyone knowing what I'm doing. The same way I'd like to mix to a new address so people stop following me. But this is the main thing. Swapping privately is huge value. As far as I know, there's not someone else. I mean, you're talking about Monero basically, but with swaps, right? I mean, how awesome would that be? And right now, I think Uniswap's doing probably did $1 billion of volume today. 650 million. And then, I can't type. 56 million. So about 700 million volume today. So I think we can easily see in the first few months that this DEX is live, assuming it works well. assuming the UI is good and that it's quick and all that good stuff, and assuming it's really private, $50 million in volume a day. I don't think that's that out there. I mean, if anyone else thinks it's that out there, I mean, feel free to correct, but I think that's pretty reasonable. And here's the big kicker, right? All the fees from that platform, supposedly, will be going back to OXO holders. So what does that look like? Again, you'll be accruing fees. You don't have to stake it. You don't have to be locked up. That's one of my favorite parts of it. I don't want to lock up to earn rewards, because you know the day you lock up, it's either going to rip 500% or it's going to nuke 50%, right? And you're going to be freaking out. So you don't have to lock up. And let's say, again, you're doing, let's say the exchange is doing, I don't know, let's keep it, let's do a low estimate, like $10 million a day. Okay, so I'm going to do some math on my other monitor here, right? $10 million a day. Let's assume a 0.5% fee. Maybe it's like a 0.25%, maybe it's 0.75, I don't know. Let's assume it's a 0.5% fee. On $10 million volume, that's $50,000 in fees a day. Let's do 50,000 divided by around 900 million coins. And then let's multiply that times 30 days in a month. You're talking about 1/10.5 cent. Here, I'll write it out. About this much in ETH reward, not ETH reward, this much in dollar value for every OXO you hold. So let's say you hold 1 million OXO, right? So that would be 0.00166666, whatever, times 1 million. That's almost $2,000 in rewards for just $10 million in volume on the exchange a day. That is not that much. And how much is 1 million OXO right now? 1 million OXO is $7,000. How? Isn't that insane? Almost $2,000 in rewards in a month for holding $7,200 or something if it only gets $10 million in volume. And of course, this all assumes, right? This all assumes a 0.5% fee. Maybe it's lower, right? So, but even if it is, I mean, let's think about this. Let me just do the calculation I just did. That would be almost, for holding $7,200 of OXO at current value, and assuming $10 million volume a day, 0.5% fee, in a year, you would get $20,000 out of 7,000. You know, that's 285% on just ETH rewards. And ETH is about to be in a during bull market too, on just $10 million. Now, it gets much crazier when we start thinking about $100 million. Again, guys, Uniswap. I know it's not that much today, but usually it's doing over $1 billion. I think people would love to privately access Uniswap. So let's say we do 1/10 of their volume at $100 million, right? We're talking about 20,000, or well, let's do the actual math here. I think it's about $200,000 a year, owning $7,000 at current value of OXO. That is 2,800% APY. I mean, is that just not absolutely ridiculous? On just 100 million a daily volume, which is not something to scoff at. Again, that's not. I'm not saying it's going to be that out of the gate by any means. It might take months. It might even take a year. It might never reach that. But I think if it fully functions properly and the UI is good, yeah, and it's going to be an aggregator, right? So you're not going to have to worry about super high slippage. You're going to get the best prices anyways, and it's all going to be private. There's literally no reason to trade on Uniswap again, right? Assuming you want to be private, I personally want to be private. I don't see why anyone wouldn't want to be private. I mean, when I got into crypto, the thought of trading Bitcoin was like, oh my gosh, I can do it without, they're not going to be able to see my bank transactions, right? It's all going to be private. No one will ever know what I'm doing, before realizing, oh, it's all public on the damn blockchain. You can see everything I'm doing. This is like what I thought crypto really should be, you know? Like, you own some Monero, you can trade privately, you can send and move money privately. Now, if you can trade assets privately, I mean, you could be talking $1 billion volume a day by the next bull run, which is unbelievable at these prices, right? So I know this is scary, guys. Like, I get it. Oh, it's only 2 days and we're down 60%. Right? But the potential value here, if the dev pulls it off, right? And let's not pretend it's a guarantee, guys. We all know sometimes devs don't meet expectations. Maybe they come into problems that they just can't fix. Maybe they give up. I don't know. I'm not trying to show this as an end-all, be-all, guaranteed you're going to get rich thing. Like, you know, we got to be adults here. It's possible this doesn't work out. It's possible it fails. And I de-risked my initial on this high as that was my plan when I got in. Okay, I need to make that clear, right? I'm going to be shilling this from here on out. I'm going to continue to shill. I still have a 87% of my size, right? So if this goes down massively, I'm going to lose so much money. But it's basically a free bag for me now. So, you know, like, take that with a grain of salt, right? You know, your plan needs to be your plan. Follow your own plan for it. But as far as I can tell, this is going to look like this in only a matter of time. Because the potential value prop here is absolutely crazy. It just depends on now whether or not the guy can actually pull it off. I genuinely think he can. And if he does pull it off and then gets audits out and everything, I will probably solely use this exchange. I'm going to mix to new addresses and you guys are not going to be able to follow me again. No hard feelings, I hope. But, you know, and like I assume you guys will want to do the same, right? Who wants all their stuff to be public? You don't lose if you don't sell. That's right. See, I'll never have to worry because even if it goes to shit, I'll still have tens of millions of 0x0 OXO, right? That'll always be worth tens of millions of OXO, you know? You know, it's always worth that. One Bitcoin's always one Bitcoin. That kind of mindset. So worst case for me now, I'm not adding. I'm not buying anymore. I'm still a fat holder. Like, but I'm not going to add more because I don't want to add unnecessary risk. It's already a free bag. If it goes to zero now, it'll be a massive flop for me. I'll lose so much open P&L. But in the end, I didn't lose initial. I still preserved my initial capital. It's fine. You know, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. It would suck. I'd be triggered as fuck for sure. But, you know, it is what it is, right? If it happens, it happens. We all know the risks of getting into new tech on the ground floor. If it does work out, Valhalla. I'm going to be printing. The amount of money bringing in every month is going to be insane. And the best part, it's real yield. I'm not getting free 0x0 every month. Right? I'm not nuking the markets with my rewards. It's just straight Ethereum. Tomorrow Polygon launches at ZK EVM. Well then honestly, like I was saying earlier, if you're looking for a short hedge, Matic's probably the one. Right? Yeah, maybe a fake pump. Maybe back up to like 115-ish, 120. Maybe, just maybe you run the stops here. But if that's happening, you know, it's probably like A, B, C, rollover. Something like that. It looks weak. It looks pretty weak, right? But that's not my expertise. I'm not a shorter, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm not a rapper, all right? But anyways, guys, that's basically the shill. You know, let me go back. It might take a minute. I had a good outline from Sora, where I think this might be going. There it is. So I'm thinking, this is my game plan, assuming the DEX launches in the next week or two. And this is a rough outline, guys, right? The idea is probably down a little more. Maybe not. Maybe we hold the floor here in the 5s. But maybe down a little more. People that bought the top will puke. It's already been happening. People that are in from over here and didn't sell the top, they're going to take their tiny gains or their break-evens or whatever because they're pussies. And, you know, that's going to be that. I think we will hold somewhere in this range, whether it's in the next week or two or whatever. And then I think we'll push up back into that penny range. Eventually, we're going to start Like, we got above a penny here for sure, but we did not trend above a penny at all. But eventually we will trend above a penny, and all of a sudden a penny is going to be the cheap. Like, oh man, if it goes back to a penny or back under a penny, I'm aping in. Versus right now, that's not really been the case. You know, a penny was the TP target. The target for everyone in Telegram has been 10 mil for a while. Some people see the vision and they're targeting 50 and 100, but most people were targeting 10. Once you start trending above that, people start to accept, oh shit, you know, maybe this is really going to $50 million market cap. Like, shoot, well, in that case, I'm going to have to buy back in if we get back towards a penny. And that's when we start to push. That's when the supply shock really happens. I mean, even right now, there's only 27 million OXO on Uniswap. Like, what is that? 27 out of 9. That's like 3% of the supply. That's nothing, dude. That's not much for people who want to get in that are not in already. Just all I and you're shorter facts, dude. What do I think of Sigil? Okay, I'll peek it. I'll go and pull it up so I don't forget about it. I'll peek at that in a second. Assuming it's the DEX coin. Yep. Why you're pretty confident? Well, so far, he's produced what he said he would produce, right? They got the AI smart contract auditor. It works. It works well. He said he was going to release the mixer. He did it. It works. It works well. It's being upgraded. The UI is being upgraded. It's being audited. So far, so good. He's given us little sneak peeks at the DEX. And as far as I know, it works. It's just not quite, like the UI is not really that clean yet. So they're just fixing that up. So I've seen, and he's not over here like, it's definitely going to be out March 28th, right? Get your bags now, guys. Hype it up. Come on, let's go. Like, he's not in the chat hyping people up. He's not in the chat. He's building, right? He's not over here trying to say, make sure everyone's got their bag, guys. Make sure everyone's buying it up. He's just building what he wants to build. Because I assume he's got a bag and he wants it to go up for his own sake, of course, too. But he's just doing the job he set out to do. I've also heard him speak on AMAs. He sounds really smart, educated. You know, he clearly knows what he's talking about. My buddy Jay, who's the community manager, has been talking to him a fair bit, I'm sure. And his confidence in him is extremely high. And my confidence in Jay is extremely high. So that brings my confidence up even more. And on top of that, they've built up a fat marketing wallet. If you guys know this coin, you know there's a 5% tax to get in or out. And really, it ends up being 6. Like, if you try 5, a lot of times it won't work. So I just do 6 usually. All of that goes into a marketing wallet, right? And right now, let me go check. I can go type. If you type /MW in the Telegram, Rose will give you the link to the marketing wallet. And right now, it's got 112 Ethereum, right? 200 grand to market with. Not 200 grand in OXO tokens to sell or give to exchanges to list you. 200 grand in ETH. Something that does not harm the protocol at all. And he hasn't even touched it. I mean, yeah, okay, we got a little bit here. You know, a little bit. But they're not really marketing. This value, I mean, it was 80 the other day. It was 50 days before that. You know, it's just flying. But they're not out here paying BitBoy to shill it or anything, right? He's just continuing to build, and they're going to market it when it's ready. So I see no reason not to trust the guy. I mean, whether or not he can pull off what he says, only he really knows that, right? I'm not a coder. I don't know what it takes for a fully private DEX to function with all the ring signatures and this and that. I just don't know, right? But he's not giving me a reason not to trust him yet, so he has my faith. That being said, I took out my initial because you just never know, right? And in the end, we could still be in a bear market, guys. I genuinely think we're seeing the turnaround with the banks crumbling and the government printing money and this fat weekly candle. But in the end, it might be important to have preserved capital if we somehow end up back at low 20s or, God forbid, mid-teens. So you gotta do what you think is best. And I think for me, the best was to sell a small 13% of my bag to recover my initial. And I didn't sell it here. I waited all the way until it hit my target. And then I got out. It doesn't mean I don't trust the dev. I just had to follow the plan. Does that much money need to go to marketing? You could. I don't think it does, and I don't think they will. I think they're going to use a lot of that to up liquidity. I think they did some today. What did they do today? They bought 2 million OXO for 9F. So today they used some of that. I guess that's what these transactions were probably. Or maybe this one. Yeah, I guess it was this one. You can see they added liquidity after... here we go. So here's where they bought OXO on the market, and then they added liquidity to the pool. So I guess they're using it for that too, which is much preferred for me. I mean, you got to use some for marketing. It's definitely important to market, but I'm free marketing. The guys that I'm getting in, they're free marketing, right? And people will trust my word. Again, it's not like I'm being honest about it, right? It's not a guarantee by any means, but why pay for BitBoy or something? He's got a bigger audience than me, of course, but why pay for that when you have people that are already marketing for you? It makes more sense to bolster liquidity. And so far, they've shown they're willing to do that, and they might continue to do that in the future. And I think they're definitely open to what the community wants to do, too. I don't think he's a selfish dev who's like, no, I want to pay for marketing now, or we're doing marketing, right? I think he's willing to listen to what the community wants, too. Where do you hold OXO? You just hold OXO on a ERC20 address, right? That's another big plus I mentioned earlier. You don't have to stake it. Right? Now, it's not accruing yet, right? We're waiting for the Mixer V2 contracts to get audited by Solid Proof. And then at that point, it can get plugged in, it'll go fully live, and that will start accruing fees from the Mixer. And then the DEX should be up on testnet in the next few days, maybe the next week. We'll test around with that, right? They'll try and improve the UI, fix any bugs that we find while testing it. And then that'll go live on mainnet, and once that goes live, you'll accrue ETH fees from the DEX too. And all you got to do is just hold OXO. And eventually after they do that, the Mixer's good, the DEX is good, then they're going to start building out a front end and a UI to where you can see how much ETH you've accrued and actually claim it. That's the game plan, at least. Will it all come to fruition? Who knows, right? It could all just be a big joke, but, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident. Are you still holding your Ord? I still have a moon bag, yeah. But, I don't know. They've just been moving kind of slowly. I'm not really, feeling that confident in them. You can check it out. It feels like it's kind of going the way of OBTC. Where it didn't rug, but it basically rugged, And it feels like it's kind of heading that way. So this is when I cut that. And then I cut my Ord. I don't remember. I think I cut it for more OXO, actually. Or maybe I cut it for something else. I think I did cut it for more OXO back in, the 3000s or something. Not great, right? Really not great at all. Played it absolutely terrible. I literally Pico bottomed this candle right here. And I accumulated this range perfectly. Rode it all the way up. Sold 8% or something. And rode it all the way down. And then puked, basically where I started for small gains. I'm the pleb in this situation. But, no, I still have a moon bag just in case I'm really wrong and it's not a slow rug. Or they don't get beaten by competitors before they can do it. And it rips. My little moon bag will probably still make some good money. So I held some. I try to hold a piece of everything I buy. But most of the time I end up not doing it because I just end up not doing it. I think some of the fun on Twitter today was... Yeah, I don't know, dude. That guy was, posting a repo from 2019 or something. And then the dev, I actually messaged him, and he fully addressed everything that guy was talking about. And it just came out to be, massive coke, dude. I don't know if he did it to get the price to drop. I don't think so, but I think he genuinely thinks it maybe is not gonna be a real, a legit project. But claims of people getting banned for asking questions in Telegram. I have not seen or heard about that. So I can't speak on whether it's happening or not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but I genuinely don't know. But that's pretty much all I guess we really did talk about OXO. It's either going to be an absolutely massive winner, or, this is all we got, right? And if this is all we got, I mean, still a crazy run-up. But I would much rather see the vision come to fruition, because I don't want to just get my money out I want to make big money on this. And if this starts nuking, I mean, I'm holding it. Like, I'm just in, right? I'm holding it. If it goes to 0 and stays there, I lose all my open P&L. It's, you know, it's a flop. Is what it is. The main developer is Sir Enigma. I know he's got some history and some other developmental stuff. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I've talked to him a few times in Telegram. He seems like a pretty cool, reasonable guy. And everyone wants to know, are they doxxed? And no, they're not doxxed because, well, one, I think they just appreciate their own privacy, but two, when you're building a mixer and anything that has to do with privacy, it's really tricky to be doxxed because governments do not like privacy, right? Even if they pretend they do not. They want to know everything that's going on. So even using a mixer can have some serious implications. Like if you're using Tornado Cash, the banks, the government might not like that, right? Let alone if you're building it, you know, just like the guy who built Silk Road. You know, did he do anything wrong by building Silk Road? He's not the one selling drugs and putting hitmen on there and child porn. He's just building a website for the facilitation of whatever may happen. And you know where he is? Prison. You know where he's going to be probably till he's dead, unfortunately? Prison. So I don't blame him for being anonymous. I mean, anon teams suck. Like, no one wants that. They want a face to their team. But I can tell you, I've been rugged by doxed teams. I've had my doxed projects go to 0. Like, doxed does not really mean anything. All it does is give you a little comfort. And I'm like, well, it won't go to 0 because then this guy's going to go to jail. And he doesn't want to go to jail, so he'll never rug. Look at Zusu. Look at Kyle Davies. Look at SPF. Right? Look at Do Kwon. Doxing doesn't mean anything. It means comfort. It means, like, pseudo comfort, right? It doesn't mean anything at all. So yeah, I don't blame them for not being doxed. Sure, drugs and child porn was on his site, but he didn't put it on there, right? You know where child porn is also? On the internet. Is the guy who made the internet, should he be in prison? Are all the, you know, supportive infrastructure for the internet, should everyone that supports the infrastructure of the internet go to prison just because there's child porn on it somewhere? No. It's like a ridiculous thought, you know? But instead they say, hey, this guy made Silk Road, let's throw him in prison because people buy drugs on Silk Road and the dark web, there's child porn, so it's his fault, right? It's not the guys that have the children, that are posting the images, that are selling the drugs. No, it's the guy who made the platform, right? And it's honestly really sad, like that guy is still in prison for that because he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't do anything wrong. I also want to apologize. EM asked about Sigil earlier, and I ended up not even looking at it, so I'm sorry about that. I did space getting sucked into OXO, but I don't know anything about. Maybe someone mentioned this to me actually recently. Sigil sounds very familiar. What is this? Is this on CoinGecko yet? Yeah. Is my computer gonna get hacked if I click on them? DeFi made easy. Yeah. I feel like I've seen this a few times already. Staking to earn platform fees is always nice. Tokenomics. Show me the VCs. Show me the seed sale. Oh, maybe it was fair launch. That'd be nice. I mean, $1 million market cap's very cheap. This looks kind of sketchy, but it's $1 million market cap. TA, in my opinion, barely matters at $1 million market cap. So, I don't have much of an opinion on it. The idea, like, bring in mutual funds to crypto, all right, or to DeFi or whatever. I mean, that's cool. But I feel like I've seen it done a few times, and it never really worked that well. My headset is hurting. Do I even need this on? I don't think I need this on. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it looks okay. The chart looks fine. If you're buying something like this, I think you're buying and you're holding it to 0, basically. 0 or hero. Either it goes to $10 million market cap or it goes to 0 and stays. I was just about to say, liquidity is nice. You know, 270K for $1 million market cap is pretty good. If you consider that Radiant has only 4 times the liquidity and is $150 million market cap, that's pretty good. You know, you can ape in a 5-10K bag on this and ape out when you want. Like, That's kind of nice. It's like Pool Wars. Also, who's Avi Eisenberg? That's not the guy who made Silk Road, isn't it? DeFi trader Ozzy Eisenberg is stuck in U.S. custody. Oh, is that just another? Is that another scammer? Another piece of shit? Right up there with SBF, I guess. Disgusting. But yeah, I don't really have a huge opinion on this, but you know, maybe it's a good ape. Now, the project that I did put a little bit of my funds in from OXO, I will now talk about. Okay, so my buddy Zor got me in on this. Here we go. If you guys don't follow Zor, give my man a follow. He's a sweetheart. I mean, his content is not for everyone. I'll say it's not for everyone, but it's definitely for me. So you know, maybe give him a follow and see if you like him. But he gave me a shout out in the DM. Said, "Hey, check this out. I think you're gonna like this. Just don't shill it yet." I was like, "Bet. You know, I won't shill it. I'll buy a little bit." I literally didn't even look at it. He's like, "I like, look, bro. You tell me this is good. I'm in right now." And then I started looking into it, and I did like what I see, so I bought some more. But unfortunately, I didn't have to tell anyone about it because everyone's freaking watching my wallets now. So the moment I buy, other people are buying, and all of a sudden, it's breaking out the new highs. Oh, thankfully it's dumping now. Maybe I can get a little bit better entry. But that coin is Unsheth, I think it's called. Basically, it's following the LSD narrative. If you don't know LSD narrative, it's liquid staking derivatives, right? People are staking their Ethereum on like Lido and whatnot. And then you could maybe take your staked ETH from Lido and you can stake that somewhere to get more gains, right? You're maximizing your yield and all that good stuff. And now we're starting to see there's some new things you can do other than just staking it. You know, maybe there'll be some new developments for liquid staking derivatives, whatever. I think it's going to be a good narrative going into this whole Shanghai upgrade for Ethereum, which everyone seems to have just forgotten about because I guess it got delayed or something, but that's still on the table as far as I know, and it could be in the next few weeks or months. So I want to have a couple bags that are going to follow that. I already have Revest, which unfortunately is not performing well at all, but the liquidity is thick. So I think you can ape in and out comfortably on this one, but this is also following that narrative. So now I have some Revest, and now I have some USH that'll follow this LSD narrative, right? OXO is my AI privacy narrative. USH and Revest are going to be my LSD narrative. And then Bard's my, like, chat GPT, also kind of AI narrative, right? And then Swapper is my Arbitrum. Wasder some GameFi. Ord was Ordinals, but now it seems like there's some other, like OpenSea will probably just end up doing Ordinals, you know, Blur will probably end up doing Ordinals. So is there really a need for a new platform if current ones are just adopted anyways? I don't know. But the other stuff I do believe is quite good. Anyways, I will say liquidity, not the best, right? I mean, like Revest, $1 million for 3 million market cap, super good. Less than $1 million for 30 million, ugh. But wait, this is actually not even right. It's not $30 million market cap. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I believe... actually, I don't want to open my DMs. Let me open another tab. I believe it is... so... Grinding Poet DML, shit on your front porch if you dump all of OXX on me. Well, now I have to dump, dude. This guy's gonna shit on my porch if I dump. How freaking hype is that? I actually had a fox shit in a bowl on my front porch a few months back. That was kind of funny. But let me check. I think, what is the actual market cap? Give me just a couple seconds. I'm sure I can find it. Okay, it was 4 million when I got in. I got in like, I'm not even like that in profits. I'm like, my average is like, oh, I have it circled. This is my candle. So that's my average. So I'm barely even in profits now. But Zor said $4 million market cap then. So now it's probably what, like 5? So $1 million liquidity for $5 million market cap. That's pretty darn good. Right? Like I'm pretty happy with that. So I like the liquidity. I like the narrative, and I like Zor. So all those three things combined, I was happy to ape. My risk is down to here. I'm a little bit indecisive on if I'm even going to cut the bag if it goes below here. I might just average down, because if this is $4 million market cap, this is probably like 2. You know, at that point, I'm close enough to 0 that I might just hold. And, you know, if you look at the volume here, right, like most people over here, this is very small. There was not really any size on the table until like 5 to 10 cents. So if we break here, I mean, who's even up that much? Like nobody. Right? The only people to sell are people that bought here and are going to panic puke. At that point, who's left to sell? Like the 2 people that bought here. So I feel like, you know, even if we go down, I might just build a bigger position and maybe up the risk a little bit. I'm not sure yet. I have to look a little bit more into it. But for now, I ape some good size here. If we get back under 15 cents, I'm going to add again. I'll probably bump up my size another 30%. And then I'm looking for, again, it's like $4 million market cap now, $5 million. I mean, if the Shanghai narrative really starts to pick up and LSD starts to pick up again, I could definitely see this moving towards $1, right? Maybe even further, maybe even a couple bucks. You know, $1 is what, $20 million market cap? That's not that crazy at all. Switch OXO to 3-day chart. I mean, yeah, like, to me, there's nothing to be concerned about here. Like, oh no, it's down 40%. Brev. It ran 3,000% in like a month. So there's nothing to be concerned about here. The 3-day chart does look kind of heat though. We're essentially just retesting the lower end of this candle. Gonna run with BTC. Yeah, I'm a little indifferent on if BTC nukes first, but for me, this candle is a significant trend change. I know people that were fading the crap out of this candle. And I'm gonna be honest, you know, I thought we were gonna fail here. Like, I really thought we were at least gonna tap it a couple times before getting through, and we ripped through. But so many people here, I just remember it like it was yesterday, dude. All right, I didn't get the bids I wanted, but I'm gonna bid 4K. I'm gonna bid 4K. Never happened. Oh, but it happened over here. Like, okay, you missed out on this entire run and had to wait a whole year to get it. But yeah, okay, it did happen later. But people faded this. Then, I mean, this is literally, like, look at this. Fat candle, and then it's like a little doji spinning top or whatever. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And it's even better because our weekly now, we're actually breaking above the weekly bands. You know? Like, this is not a candle I'm going to fade. Even if we're going to get a little pullback, I don't care. This is absolutely magnificent. So yeah, I was talking about it earlier. I genuinely think we're going to 50K, 40, 50K this year. Dude, on a long enough time frame, if not this week or next, bears just lose. It is so negative EV to be a bear. I'm not saying it's negative EV to short. You know, people are going to be, but Trader SZ shorts, Trader XO shorts, he makes money. Yes. The small minority of really good traders are able to short properly, and they tend to be doing it as hedges to their longs. But the majority of the time, bears in crypto, they get wrecked. They just do. And they probably will continue to do so for a long time. I mean, look at the quarterly chart. You're going to fade this? You're going to fade that? Seriously? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, what I will say is trading this is crap. But at the same time, if I had to be in a position here, I would just be long. And I would cut it if we lost. If we close below 26.5, I'll cut it. Because then there's a huge no man's land gap down to daily EMA support. But if I had to pick a direction, I would just be long. And you know what this price action reminds me of? Extremely similar. Is the pre-liftoff in 2020. it looks just like this. Like if you snapshot of this, and I would have been saying the same thing. I'd be like, man, this looks gross. I don't want to trade this. But if I had to, I would be long. I'd rather almost be long here to have higher confidence. But if I had to pick, I wouldn't be shorting this. Like, does that not look just like where we're at now? New high, new local high. And then this just chop pattern that's getting absorbed. It's the same thing, right? Now, I'm not saying we're definitely gonna go up here, like, oh, because it's gonna be people gonna be like, Crypto Hunter, you said it's the same thing as 2020. Remember traders when he missed the bottom 21 on Twitter? I don't remember that. There's a lot of hate on Trader SZ and on Trader XO. It's not my business to hate on them, right? Like if they're doing some seriously shady stuff, like they're getting pre-sale deals and then they're shilling the top of it while they're dumping. That's not cool. I'm not going to hate on him if they short and take an L. And I'm not going to hate on him if he misses the bottom. Like, I don't care about that stuff, to be honest. And I like Trader SC. Is he the kind of guy I'd hang out with? I don't know. He kind of seems like he'd be a little bit of an asshole. But I'm kind of an asshole. But exactly. They flip when they're wrong, dude. They accept being wrong, and then I'll tell you what. If Trader SZ is short here and this shit goes to 40K, he's gonna make bank on some longs. While other people are gonna come in here and be like, haha, Trader SZ was short, he was short. But he probably made bank on longs, right? Like it's kinda silly. But if he misses the bottom, haha. I'll tell you, one of the people who sells bottoms harder than anyone is me. I mean, I can pick spots on this chart. I have puked bottoms. I mean, I puked so hard on COVID bottom. I puked so hard in here. Like, I was so short in here. And then I was super long. And that was the end of it. And it made fucking bank, right? I puked mad positions here. I lost almost 90% of my net worth on this. And puke. And then I 200x my account. Right, like, missing bottoms, missing tops, this and that. It just doesn't matter. I'm not trying to give you a hard time either for you. So I know you're not being, like, super aggressive or anything, but it happens. If I puked the bottom, or I missed the bottom, it'd make me want to be silent, too. But I didn't. I bought here. We do a little clout trading, and I bought there, so. Back to football. But anyways, I'm not good at flipping. I'm not good at long in the bottom of the range, taking profits, going short, logging. Like, it's just, I'm not good at it. I just get too emotional. I get too confident. Oh, I got the generational bottom long though, baby. I know it's going to mid 40Ks, so I gotta hold this one, and then I get stopped. And then it still goes to 40K without me. It's just not my strat. So it doesn't make sense for me to hate on someone who's doing it, and I don't know Trader's bankroll, but I know he's got a damn Ferrari. Right, I know he's got a nice-ass house. I mean, he's clearly making money. So, why waste time shitting on him when I can just be aping shitcoins and making bank? Know what I'm saying? Do I do more spot trading or perps? Absolutely spot trading. My perps volume is insanely higher. Like, I think I did probably hundreds of millions of dollars in perp volume last year on WooX. And I've done a fraction of that on DeFi. But I can tell you, most of my gains are from DeFi. I think my perps account is down probably about $100,000 since December. We had a crazy run up in March, or a crazy run up in January. My perp account is still down. I'm probably up 400K on the account as a whole, but I still got wrecked during this. Imagine that, right? Because I'm just not as good at it. I get sucked into my emotions more. I get really greedy. I upsize and tighten stops to places that I shouldn't be tightening my stops. Just kind of honestly some amateur stuff. And I know I'm not there yet. And it's because I'm just not the kind of person who really should be trading leverage. It really messes with me emotionally, and I know I don't need to do it. So yeah, my volume is much higher on perps, but I trade way more on DeFi. I also just prefer to own my own assets. You know, if I lose my seed phrase or whatever, at least it's on me. At least it's not SBF taking my money I kept on his exchange. So yeah, I'm much more of a DeFi guy. And it just feels more crypto to me, you know? Connecting my wallet, I'm the custodian, to a decentralized exchange. That is crypto, right? That is what I'm here for. And obviously I'm here to make money, but for me it's a lot of fun. And I saw someone made a good post about it yesterday. A lot of times if your trading is fun, you're oversized. Like, trading should be boring. And I'm about that, you know? Like, I do oversize. It's one of my bigger flaws. I put on more money than I should, but right now I'm okay oversizing because a lot of my money is not even in crypto. So I'm okay with what I have in crypto kind of going balls to the walls. But yeah, I love the tech. I love everything that crypto kind of stands for. So I have a great time being involved, even when I'm getting shit on. How do you limit buy sell from a NCW? Is that a non-cold wallet? I'm not familiar with that acronym. NCW? I know you're furiously typing as fast as you can to tell me what that is. But yeah, I'm much more of a DeFi guy. And almost all of my money has been made from spot trading. Non-custodial wallet. You can do stuff like, I think 1inch offers limit orders. I have never been able to get it to work right. I think Matcha also offers limit orders. But I am a market in, market out guy. When I want to buy $2 million of Bitcoin, I market in. And that's not to say I put all my size in it one go. You know, I'm down to ape, you know, a piece of my size here, a piece of my size here, average in and stuff. But when I want in, I market in. And when I want out, I market out. 99% of the time. It's just how I like to go about it. You know, I'm not going to go right now and put a limit sell here and a limit buy here. Because what if I just get run through? Then I'm kind of screwed. Unless I'm playing really light size. So yeah, 99% of the time I market in, market out. Oh, thanks, dude. I really appreciate that. I love streaming, and it's way more fun to stream with more people. But I'll tell you what, man, when I streamed in 2018, 2019, I would have 3 or 4 viewers. And it was the same guys every time, and they're still here today, absolutely killing it, and it paid off for those guys. Right? So whether there's 2 people in here, or 20 or 30 or 200, I'm going to be streaming pretty much every week, as long as I can. You know, as long as I can, as long as this is still a thing, I'm going to be here every week talking about whatever there is to talk about. And I love it. I love having you guys here. I love that I can scroll up in the chat and there's comments on comments on comments. It keeps it going. It keeps it interesting. It makes me a better trader, a better educator, a better analyst. And it's just fun. I mean, like, real talk. I tweeted it the other day, and Bitlord kind of made fun of me for it. But I love other people making money. Like, it's great to make money for myself. It's great to increase my wealth, because then I can do stuff for myself and my girlfriend and my family, and you know, it's lovely. But when I get a message from one of the homies saying, bro, thanks for the OXO call, I just made so much money, I mean, it makes my day, it makes my week. I love it. And so right now, this is nuking, and some of my friends that are not in yet or didn't get good entries are getting better entries. I'm down hundreds of thousands of dollars open P&L, and I'm happy, man. Like, I'm stoked that people that aren't in yet are getting entries. And Bitlord's like, you're hyped that your stuff goes out 80%? Like, you're insane. Like, yeah, I'm insane. And, you know, I got a big heart, dude. Like, if something that I'm in goes down, I know my homies are in and it's going down, I'm going to ape it. I'm going to buy it up more, right? For the squad, not just for me. I'm not a selfish person, you know, and it just, like, I'm not trying to hype myself up, but I got a big heart, dude. I like to see my friends and family achieve stuff and make a lot of money. Like, that makes me way more hype than making a ton of money. Like, infinitely. And maybe that's because I've got a fair bit of money now, but I was the same way in 2017 when I started with $1,000. Right? Like, it's just hype to see other people succeed, dude, especially when I played a role. And I think people recognize that, because I've never ever, I can't even recall, I'm sure it's happened, but I can't recall a single time someone's come at me like, bro, why'd you get me in this? Why is this dumping? Like, they just don't do it because they know I'm for the people, right? Like, I'm in it. Now, I'll come in. If I want out of something, I'm getting out. That's why I tell people, like, Blockcircle is a wonderful thing, but a lot of people treat it as a copy trade service. They want to see what I'm buying so they can follow me, do what I'm doing, and if it goes up and I make money, they make money. But it's not how I started it. I started as basically a trading journal. I'm telling the people in Blockcircle what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm getting in here. I'm letting you guys know. You guys want to follow me? Well, heads up. When I want out, I'm getting out. I'll nuke it 25% in a candle if I want to. I don't always do that, but I have and I will. And you should too. If you got fat size on something and you want out, nuke it, baby. Dump on my ass. I welcome it. Like, I'll make fun of people. Like, look at this chump. He's selling. What an idiot. But I'm not going to really, like, it's not serious. I'm not going to be like, this guy's actually a bad person because he sold on me. Like I saw Messi made a good post about it. Like, there's people ragging on people for selling. Like I'll do it. I rag on it, but I hope people know it's not serious. Like, it's cool. Like, it's totally cool to be a seller. To sell on me, to sell on other people. It's all part of the game. We're all here to sell. How do you make money? You sell. How do you reduce your risk? You sell. How do you realize profits? You sell. That's how it goes. Anyways, I'm hardcore babbling right now. I think it's okay to trade perps. I just think if you're trading leverage, put a small amount of your money on the exchange. Do not put a large percent of it. If you want to put 5% of your account on an exchange, you want a degen 10x leverage, go for it, brother. I think that's fine. At least because it lets you be degen. It lets you do stuff that maybe you shouldn't be doing, but at least it's with a small amount of your account. If you whiff it, be responsible. Don't just keep funding it another 5% of the account, another 5% of the account. Like, I've been there, and I'm not saying it like, I'm not trying to come off as a lecturer. I'm saying it because I have done it. Any mistake you're thinking of making or that you're making right now, I've done it. I still do it. Like, I'm an average dude. I'm an average trader. Not shitting on my own success or anything, but like, only issue is I can't see growth from starting with a little folio like me. Trust me, dude. It is possible, and it's easier than you think, dude. If you just do not. It's funny coming from me, but don't oversize. It's one of the biggest mistakes. It is my single biggest mistake, and sure, it pays off sometimes. But if you oversize, the emotions you think you have in check start to get out of check, and you'll just be making decisions you do not want to make, and you shouldn't make. Don't oversize. Don't focus on becoming a millionaire if you have $1,000, dude. Focus on making $10,000 without 80% drawdown, That's what really matters. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, gasless swap on 1 inch is nice. And I think cow swap does it too. And cow swap even refunds you. If your order doesn't go through, you don't have to pay gas at all. But it's nice, dude. Gasless swap is definitely a feature of the future, dude. Where do I think an investor should look to add more exposure? You have to understand, I said it earlier, I am not buying this ever again. I guarantee I hold more, and it's not a flex. I hold more than anyone here. I probably hold more than everyone in this chat combined. And that's, it's not good for any project to have one person holding a massive amount of supply. It's just not a healthy thing. And I don't like being in that position either, because then, thankfully, I was able to OTC out a pretty big sell when I wanted the TP, but that's not always going to be the case. I don't want to be like, you know what, I'm thinking of de-risking a quarter of my OXO bag today, and then I go to do it, and it's 40% slippage. Like, one, I don't want to nuke a market that the homies are at 40%. I'll do it, straight up. I'll do it, but I don't want to, and I don't want to take a 40% hit on my open P&L either. So, and the other thing is I've de-risked my initial. It's technically a free bag for me now. I don't want to add on extra risk because already if it goes to 0, I'm going to lose so much open P&L. I don't want to lose any initial capital. So I'm not buying anymore. I'm done. I'm just going to hold my fat ass bag until we top, you know. But you know, I would say 5s if you get it. Oh, okay, I'm just going to get rid of this. If we get it, I would say 5s. 4 to 5s. I don't know if we'll get that, but you know, the 61.8 fib is around 5.5. We pretty much already tapped it. Oh, we actually already entered 5. That's crazy how fast we pulled back from 13 to 5. But yeah, this would be my general range. Let me throw up the EMAs. I actually have not looked at the EMAs on this. Oh, look how beautiful that is, dude. Absolutely perfect hold of the 60 EMA. So, maybe the bottom's already in. Genuinely, the bottom could already be in. The thing is, when it's so illiquid, technicals don't quite matter as much because, like I said, I could come in right now and nuke this to, like, here. It doesn't matter what the TA says. It doesn't matter which moving average is where or which Fibonacci level. It just takes a couple people with fat bags to have an emergency or to have a moment of panic. And all of a sudden, we're down here. Likewise, 2 guys come in with a couple $100,000 and say, you know what, I'm going to build a 6-figure position in OXO. Every time it dumps, they're going to be a buyer. And at some point, they're going to decide, you know what, I want my bag now. And then the next guy's going to be like, shit, I missed it. Oh, I'm just going to get in. This is still a good price. You know, and then you're gone. Right? So I would honestly be pretty happy with this. This is a 50% discount on yesterday's prices. Right? Like, that's amazing. You know, that's if you think that what these guys can build, and it's anyone's guess whether or not they'll actually be able to do it. To me, $6 million is extremely undervalued for what these guys offer. It's fully diluted. There's no VCs. There's no seed sale guys. There's no emissions. They're burning supply. The team is buying their own supply to add liquidity. The marketing wallet has a fat amount of Ethereum. They don't have to give other people, you know, their own tokens to boost the project. Everything is good about this. Literally everything. So to me, this is a good price. Right? Now, if Bitcoin goes to 24K, someone's going to puke it. Just one person, maybe, but who knows? I mean, think about this. We topped out February 21st, and we bottomed March 10th. February 21st, Bitcoin tops out. March 10th, we bottom. Look at it. We went up during the last Bitcoin downtrend. But yet, there's one guy who came in here. This is one person who honestly either panicked or maybe he had a legit emergency, needed his money out. He dumped it 60% by himself. And then he missed out on 1,600% gains. That could happen again. Think about it. One person could come in right now and sell it down to the 3s. Or one person could come in and pump it up above a penny again, you know? So it's all about your own exposure. It's all about how much value you think this really holds. For me, I think this is a $100 million project if the DEX actually comes to fruition, you know? And yeah, CowSwap's pretty nice, dude. It's pretty nice. I've used it a few times. I like it. I got some VCow still locked up. What's up, Demi? You're catching the last piece of the stream here. I'm probably gonna be wrapping it up soon. I'm sure my girlfriend wants to do some stuff together, but definitely watch the whole VOD, dude. I mean, this has been I think all my streams are usually very high quality, but this has definitely been one of the best streams. This one, the last few, honestly, have been extremely high quality. And part of it's thanks to you guys in here asking questions, you know, like, because you guys make me think about and look at things that I'm not thinking about a lot of the times. So, oh, look at this guy. He just sold. What an asshole. Let's all berate him. Puppy swap. Let's go find this guy and just berate him. what's crazy is the most of the people selling are selling their whole bag, dude. And I just think that is bonkers. Like, if you're in from here, you watch it go up, and you're deciding now, damn, I didn't secure any profits. I want to secure something. Like, that's fine. Maybe you're selling the higher low. It's 50% lower than yesterday, whatever. That's fine. You know, you want to sell 30%, whatever. But I see people just selling their whole bag out of nowhere. I just think that's kind of crazy. I mean, I've done it. I'm not trying to act all high and mighty. I've done it, and I've regretted it. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're happy that you did it. But I think it's a really bad play to just get rid of your whole bag at once. Because then if you're wrong, you're just setting yourself up to make an emotional decision when it starts moving back up. You know? All right, give me 1 sec. I need to get a water because I have some dry throat right now. All right. Ugh. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I'll be here, man. And it really helps, too, if you guys follow me on Twitter and you retweet the tweet where I go live. I know it sounds kind of silly, but the more exposure this stream gets, the better it'll be, the more consistent I will be with streaming, and the more people can benefit from the education, you know. And some people, like, I that's something I genuinely care about. At my heart, I love teaching and I love educating. It makes me feel extremely good. So please, guys, when you see me tweet out about the stream, please retweet it, like it, comment, you know, tell other people to tune in, like, because I know it's a good stream, and I love having people in here to do this for me. It is genuinely one of the highlights of my week. Every time I go into it, I'm like, ugh, I gotta stream today, damn it. You know, it's like work. But then the moment it starts to the moment it ends, it's a great time. I love it. You know, we're almost 2 hours into this, and it's, you know, time is flying, right? Like, so I genuinely appreciate it. Riker's commenting emotions. Not sure what he means there, but okay, we're spilling water everywhere. Cool. I think Aptos is overvalued hot garbage. Hot VC garbage. So it'll probably pump. It'll probably pump because it's garbage. As far as price action goes, you don't like it. Don't like it. Above 15, I like it again. Right now, it's okay. It's just okay by my book. The nice thing is it's very liquid. You know, so you can put on big size. Alright, brother. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next one. But yeah, I think it's kind of mid. I kind of do like this little, like, falling wedge going on right now. I'll say what it does have going for it, okay? This is the current downtrend, right? And it looks like it's broken out of that with a nice big move to a new local high. And now it's doing like a little falling wedge. I quite like that a lot, actually. I don't like so much that it's trending below these 4-hour moving averages. And this is Pi, one of my go-to moving averages. I don't like that it's failing there. But it's pretty healthy price action. I don't know what the unlock schedule is and all that stuff, but I actually quite like this a fair bit. You know, if we start getting a trend above 13s, I think it starts to look really healthy. No, really, brother? That stinks. I did the same thing. I don't remember where it was, but I had a fat long on this and Optimism, and I puked both of them for basically nothing. Damn, did you really puke 3.1? That means this is you on this candle. That's you, brother. How does that feel? That's gotta feel pretty good, honestly. I mean, it ain't nothing like having a piece of the chart for yourself. This is you. For the rest of your life, you exist on this chart as this candle. How cool is that? I've done that. There's definitely charts where this is me, and the chart is now, like, way up here somewhere. You gotta learn to embrace it, right? Like, 10 years of unlock. I mean, honestly, 10 years of unlock is better than 1 year. You know, I'd rather have 20% of the supply coming into the ecosystem over 10 years than 20% coming in over the next year. Right, at least it means that the unlocks are probably pretty reasonable, you know, moderate, like kind of small. Hey, welcome Zero Sum. I'm glad you tuned in, man. We'll be here next week too. Vincent Van Rees. Any thoughts on Metis, dude? Damn. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a minute. I was big on the first Metis hype wave. We made a ton of money on that. Let's go see where it's at. And this is funny. See, I remember when it was going up, I was saying I don't really think... I'll be honest, though. I'm pretty sure I said it somewhere in here. That I don't think Metis has a lasting effect in the market. And that's kind of coming to fruition right now. And the flip side is, oh, it's a lagger, right? It's a lagger. It's not going up because it's lagging, right? It's not going up because it's bad. It's not going up because it's lagging. Which might be the case. If that's the case, this is a year-long accumulation. Which, in my opinion, will at least lead to 500% rally. If it has some value to it, right? But I'll just be real. I haven't kept up with it. So I don't know what the developments have been like. I'm really liking the buy to sell ratio, right? Like if only a few people are getting out and there's a lot of new people getting in. That I do like. And I like that it's pretty close to the lows. Ah, shit. So, your risk reward is quite nice here. You know, if you're assuming you're going to cut it if we break here. Right? That's your risk. And, I mean, your reward, in my opinion, is back up to these local highs here. That's a 10x risk reward. That's freaking nice. If it gets traction, you know. But I haven't paid attention to it in a while. So, I don't know if the ecosystem is still hype or anything. This was such a crazy run, dude. From a penny to $8. It was so sick. It all looks very dead, though. It looks very dead, and like there's no hype in it. So, it's not going to get my attention. I just don't think we need that many chains out there. And there's potentially so many bag holders waiting to get out. I prefer charts like this. Like this. And even like this, that are fresh. Once you get to the highs, no bag holders. Nobody that bought higher. Nobody trying to puke at a loss. That's what I like to see. You know? So... It's not my favorite ecosystem. And I genuinely just don't... It's just kind of a bitch to get into and out of, you know? Exactly. That was the whole, like, that was like my main thesis when I got in is, Vitalik's mom is in it! Whoa! Vitalik's gonna show up to save his mom! It's not like Vitalik's already rich and can just give his mom money. But that's pretty funny, dude. All right. When you first went from 1K to big boy numbers, how did you psychologically react to new positions with overtime multiples? I reacted, excuse me, very poorly, and that was also one of my biggest flaws this last cycle. So my first cycle, 2017, like I said, I got a loan from my girlfriend for $1,000, and I lost half of it in like the first week, and that's when I joined the group that I now own, which is Blockcircle, because I need people to help me. I don't know what I'm doing. And then from that run up in here, didn't make anything. And then I went from like a few, like $5,000 or $10,000 to like $200,000. And the problem was, like, I was hype. I mean, I was over the moon as a college student with 6 figures. I mean, I could not have ever imagined that. And that was the problem. Because I could have never imagined it. I never thought it would happen. I had absolutely no plan for what to do with it, when and where to get out, when I would be taking profits. I had no plan. And I didn't have a sense of value for it. It was just a number on a screen that kept going up. Thus, I gave back 80 to 90% of it, right? So, I mean, psychologically, I'd say I handled it well, but my plan, there was no plan. That's why I gave most of it back. This last cycle, I had a better plan, but I didn't expect to have, you know, almost 6 figures in it and then still go up over 100x on my account. Like, I had a plan, but that was not part of the plan. The plan was maybe I can 10x my account this cycle and make really good money. So there became a point where I just didn't know what to do with it. I didn't even care. Like, wow, I have, you know, so many millions. Like, I mean, I'm happy with a freaking $1 million. So if I lose this other 5 million, who cares? I still get the million. So I didn't respect the new money I'd earned because, yet again, I had a plan this time, but I didn't have a plan for if I actually made as much as I made. So what did I do? Well, I played it way better than last time. I took out more than enough money. You know, I put money into a house that I couldn't just gamble away on the market. I bought some cars, you know, some fun stuff, and I cashed out to the bank so I could chill. But what I had left was still a ridiculous amount of money. And then even when market structure was telling me it's time to get out, I'm buying Ampleforth, you know, I'm buying Butterfly and Time, and I'm buying these assets that are just printing the more of the same asset, and I'm just not respecting the money that I had because there was no plan for what to do if I made that much money. You know, so the time to plan that, guys, is now. Whether we're going to go up straight from here this year, whether we're going to go sideways, whether the big bull runs next year or whatever, you got to have a plan now for things you can't even imagine, right? Have a plan if we go to 10K, right? Have a plan if we go to 100K. Have a plan if you 10x your account. Have a plan if you 100x your account. Have at least, and it's not going to go as you plan, but have an idea. If this happens, then I do this. That is the best thing you can do in trading, is have an if-then analysis mindset. Right? If this happens, then that. Scenario build all day. I mean, you don't have to build for every scenario, but, you know, try and consider the realm of possibility is, in theory, kind of limitless. I have a plan to make a ton. I just don't make a ton at all. Well, you know, why is that, you think? You know, what really limited you last cycle? Or, you know, what's limited? When did you get in? You got in end of 21, right? No, is that, am I remembering that correctly? Maybe I'm mixing that up with someone, but, you know, this is a fresh start, right? I'm not saying we're going straight up from here, but you got in. I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, dude. You got in there, dude. That sucks, dude. But that's, you know, that's how it goes, right? Like, I mean, I got into the first major Pico top. I bought so many tops the week I got in. Instantly, within a week, half my crypto was just gone. Like, that's how it happens. So in reality, your first bull cycle has not even happened. You were born in a bear market. Dude, that's... I hope you can read what you just typed and realize that is absolutely amazing, dude. For you to be at the same net worth as the peak, I guarantee you there is a very... I mean, the tiniest percent of people are making new highs on their net worth right now. The next smallest people are at least at or around their net worth. The vast majority, myself included, are far below their net worth from back then, dude. So if you have maintained value through one of the harshest bear markets in crypto, dude, that is Chad. That is absolutely amazing. I mean, it might suck to think you haven't, like, made it yet, but dude, you haven't seen anything, right? All you've seen is wreckage. Now, that there is some truth to that, dude, because you're born in the bear, dude. I mean, it's going to be hard to imagine, right, shit like this happening and then repeating itself over and over and over to absurd valuations. And if my thesis is true, this market, this next bull market will be even crazier than the last one. We will see 1000x returns. We will see 100x on size, on super liquid stuff. Like, expect yourself to be able to ride that stuff. You know, one of the best things you can do is just have a simple trailing stop, right? Like OXO, right? A simple way to do this for something like this, a low cap. Just outline the key higher lows. Boom. Let's go back to the 4 hour. The first key higher low is right here. The next key higher low is here. We have not made another higher low yet. If we do not close below here, you should not ever, I won't say not ever, I never want to say ever, but there's no reason for you to fully get rid of this bag that's in an uptrend if you do not break market structure. Let's just go with one of the simplest examples. Neo, dude. Good old ant shares. For those of you that rode this with me in the last cycle. Just trail your stops. I mean, because you can perform so bad. Like, I know Loomdart, piece of shit, by the way, but Loomdart was super long. 10 cents on ant shares. I don't know how he traded it. I think he sold for a 2x. But think about this. Even if you de-risk at a 2x, half your size, and then you TP another half here, and you leave the other half running with a simple higher low trailing stop. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You're not going to sell the high. You're going to sell down 80% from the highs, right? But your entry could be up, 30,000%. And you didn't have to do anything. You don't have to think. You don't have to have an emotion, a single thought. All you have to do is draw a darn line. Did technical market structure over the long term break? No? Don't touch it. Don't TP the new high. On some stuff, your entry, TP someone the new high. TP the new high, TP the new high. But at some point, stop. Stop making the decision to do it. Let the chart tell you what to do. If it's not breaking market structure, don't fully exit, dude. Think about it. If you kept 10% of your bag this whole run and it goes up 30,000%, that is a massive increase to your account. Absolutely astronomical. And you didn't do anything. You just drew a line. What you did was not let yourself get emotional and choose, I know it hasn't broken yet, but this looks really bad. So I think that I should get out. And again, I'm not lecturing, dude. This is just something I have done, and I still do 6 years into this. I think this, so I'm going to do this. Instead of, the actual fact, and the chart is the fact. The facts have not told me to exit yet. So why would I? And that's really the simplest thing you could do. Obviously, there's a lot more that can go into it. There's more things you can do to ensure you can ride these pumps high, but not hold it down to the bottoms and stuff. But this is the simplest thing you can do, dude, is have a simple, strict trailing stop. I'm not talking a hard stop either. When you get moves like this, you don't need a hard stop because you're going to get wicked out. And you're not worried about selling the top. Look at this. 30,000% gains, but you sold 80% from the top. People are going to meme on you. You're exiting now 80% from the top? Why didn't you just sell the top? Well, the people thinking that, they would have puked their bag over here and over here, right? They're not riding that whole pump because they have that mindset. And then they're going to meme on you for finally selling 80% when, but Neo's the next big, it's the Ethereum of China. And then you avoided another 80% drop, and you didn't reach the point you sold 80% down from the highs for years. And then even when you did, it went, a 2x above that? And then it went down again. It's the simplest thing you can do, dude. It takes, I won't say it takes no effort. It takes mental fortitude, dude. It takes a lot of strength to just trade the chart and not let your emotions get in the way, especially when you got $5,000 in your bank account and you're up $100,000 on your last piece of your position. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I can do so much with this. And it's true, you can. So at some point, you got to make a decision. Are you going to be a P&L trader or are you going to be a chart trader? And I suffer from it. Like I said, still today, dude, I am a P&L trader sometimes because there's things in my life I want to do. I got this much tax debt I want to pay. So when I get that much money, I want to take it out so I can do what I want to do. But at the same time, what if I can make 10 times my debt, right? And I'm not advocating not paying off your debts if you can pay off your debt, guys. But a simple strategy like this is really one of the best things you can do to ensure that you're going to catch 80% of what the market gives, and you don't have to get emotional about it. And that's the big part, dude. The emotions absolutely wreck you. And not everything's going to go up 30,000%. This is just a great example from a full bull market. But, you know, that's the way you do it, right? You just trail out the stops. And obviously, where you define a higher low and where you define, you might trail out your stop, like this, and then you get cut. But then if you're that set on it, it's a new trade. Cut it, it's a new trade. Think about it on that day, right? Do I want to re-enter this? If I hadn't owned this whole time, do I want to buy this right now? And if you do, you say, oh, well, yeah, I'm seeing a downtrend here. We broke out of this little downtrend, a new uptrend, higher low. Okay, I'll make a new entry with a higher low, right? And then I'll run back the same strat. Okay, we're going up. I'm going to start trailing higher lows. Oh, new high, new trailing stop, right? And you run it that way. Okay, if we make a new high, I'll up my trailing, boom, and then you can manually take profit. But the last piece, you're waiting. Okay, ooh, we're getting close here, and that's it. You cut it. You're done. And then you wait for the new uptrend. You get a new uptrend. Okay, you think, do I want to buy this again? Do I want to do entry? All right, we'll go for the new entry. And that's how you're playing it. And I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world. It's actually one of the hardest things to hold through P&L that you've never expected. It's extremely hard. And of course, after the fact, it looks so easy. And people that aren't in it and aren't doing it are going to say, dude, it's so easy. Why didn't you just sell there after you bought here? Like, why did you sell here? Right? And why did you wait to sell here? Right? But they're not going to get it unless they're in it, unless they're actively doing it. All right, I feel like I just breathed for the first time in like 20 minutes. Let me read some of these comments. Would I recommend stacking Ether BTC for smaller accounts? Well, you're asking someone who's never done that, right? I've gotten the majority of my wealth without ever stacking BTC or Ethereum. In my opinion, stacking BTC and Ethereum is something that a larger account is going to do. But what it does do is it mutes the volatility of your portfolio in both ways. You're going to make less on the upside because you have money allocated to less volatile assets that are going to probably go up less than your little shitcoins. But when Bitcoin goes down 50%, your little shitcoin's going to go down 90%. And if you're all in shitcoins, your portfolio is down 90%. If you're 80% in shitcoins and you're 20% in Bitcoin, your whole portfolio is going to go down 70%, The more you have allocated to the less volatile asset, the less aggressive the swings are going to be. To the upside, yes, but also to the downside. So you just got to weigh out, how much are you willing to risk on the downside and the upside, right? Are you willing to risk less on the upside to ensure that when we do nuke, and we will nuke, even if we go into a crazy bull market, there's going to be insane nukes. The road to 100x is full of 80% drops. Okay? So you just have to, it's very personal, individual thing. How much of that are you willing to risk at any given moment? So I think it's good, but when you want to cash out to cash, take a little piece of that, buy some Bitcoin, send it to a cold storage, don't touch it. I don't do that, but this will be the first cycle where I do that, where I start to accumulate long-term Bitcoin holding. But anyway, oh my gosh, they're puking my bag again, aren't they? Those shits. I did a full round trip from a few $100 to close to a few hundred. Oh yeah, dude. I have been there, my man. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's really not. Pretty solid trading, but these low caps, I don't know how to approach them. If you don't know how to approach them, dude, just throw a little bit in. Just throw, it might not seem like much. Throw $100 in, dude. A couple $100, right? It's exposure that matters. If you have some exposure, because the worst, like me with Radiant, dude, I saw Radiant at 2 cents, right? Now it's up at, you know, whatever, 50 cents. And I'm not going to touch it because I don't have a piece. I'm emotional. I missed out. If I had bought $100, I wouldn't be as emotional. I'd be like, you know what? I didn't get an entry, but I got something. I got a little something. I'm making money on this. So I'm not feeling the FOMO as hard. You know what I mean? So having a little piece of a lot of stuff can be really good. At the same time, though, it's all the same. If we nuke and you got 30 bags, have fun doing 30 Uniswap transactions to get out of all that stuff, right? So nowadays, I used to have, you know, 20, 30, 40 bags at any given time, and it sometimes pays off, but then when things really hit the fan, like, it's a pain in the butt to get out of all of it, and it all goes the same direction. So diversifying can be good, but you make a good point. You know, I'm not going to say that, but it's a lot harder to make it just trading Bitcoin. Some people are going to do it, and maybe I'm just speaking from my own personal experience as a low cap trader, but I think it's a lot harder to make it leverage trading Bitcoin than it is to buy some spot shitcoins and sit on them, you know? Raw Alpha, you're welcome, brother. I'm spitting facts. I know it. Dude, yeah, it applies to any ecosystem. Obviously, with lower market cap and lower liquidity stuff, like, I'm not going to have say, you know, at $1 million market cap, I was not going to start trailing here. My thesis had not played out yet. And even for this, I'm already probably not trailing stopping this because it hasn't really gone to a level where any one person can't just wreck my stop, right? But we're doing this, you know, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Once we really get to some crazy valuations, yeah, if we start to lose these levels, I'm going to start to cut it, right? I mean, we can, like you said, we can go ahead and apply this to literally anything. I keep going to the wrong. Like this, perfect example. When you make a new high is when you have a new trailing stop. So right now, this is your trailing stop. Unless you close higher time frame candles below this level, you should not fully exit the bags you bought over here. And I know the thought really messes with people. Like, you're telling me not to exit unless I'm down 70%? Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. For some of it, you know, you want a TP. I'll go over really quickly, I'll go over the rules for trading for my trading model. When you get an entry, let's say, you know, you bought this candle. Let's back it up. Let's say you bought the top right here. And your trade was, I'm going to buy here. If we close below the Pico low, I'll cut it. Okay? The first time you take profits is called the initial surge. And that, generally speaking, is 2 to 3 candles in your favor. All right. This is my entry level. 1, 2. This big wick. That is the third candle. Maybe on this candle, you're taking your first wave of profits. 20%, 30%. That's the initial surge. The second surge is 5 to 8 candles in your favor. Okay, here's 4. And then we retrace. Okay, I'm not taking my second wave yet. I'm not taking my second wave. This was the fourth one. Now we get 5, 6. Maybe I'm taking my next wave of profits. That's my second surge. I'm not selling the top, right? I didn't buy the bottom. I bought, you know, whatever. The bottom was 2 cents. I bought 5 cents. I bought 150% above the bottom. First surge, second surge, and then the last piece, you know, you can do a third surge if you will. You can take profits again on new highs. But at some point, whether it's 5%, 10, 20, 30, you should trail out with new highs. Because, think about it. I know it sucks to think, oh, I'm not selling till I'm 70% down, but consider it, right? You might be 80% down, but this is $36. And if you bought in at 10 cents, you think you're really going to just choose to stay in that whole run without a system? No. But if you take some off here and you take some off here, you're safe, right? You've recouped your initial capital. It's so much easier to just hold a trailing stop Because you know at that point, well, if it goes against me, at least I preserved my initial capital. This trade will always be a win because I took off on the initial and the secondary surge. Thus, I can hold this all the way up because I'm already safe. And of course, it's not easy because you're making 10 grand, then 20, then 50, then 100, then 200. Holy shit, what the? Then a million, then 2 million, then 3. Like, oh my gosh, I started with 5 grand. Am I really going to let millions go away? That's up to you. You know, you can either stick to your system or not. So you might lose. And here's the big thing. By the time the trailing stop hits, you will have just lost more money than you've probably ever lost in your life. But at the same time, because you committed to that way of trading early on, you've also secured more money than you've ever had in your entire life. You know, it goes both ways, right? But it applies to everything with, yeah, obviously with Arbitrum coins. Again, keep in mind, the lower the market cap and liquidity, the easier it is to be manipulated by any one person. But so you got to have some conviction on your lower caps, but you also got to have conviction in your system. Your system says, I close below here, I cut it. If it closes below here, you cut it. And then you can always re-enter. It's not the end-all be-all. If it closes below here and then the new downtrend breaks and you get a new uptrend, you can just get back in, you know? Anyways, any advice on how to find those small caps that have potential? Now that. Good morning from Aussie. Hey, what's up, Logan? Thanks for tuning in, brother. That's the hard part, right? Finding the coins that will be the future blue chips. That is the hard part. And it's always funny to, like, my girlfriend be like, you're not working, you're on Twitter. I'm like, you don't get it. Being on Twitter can be work. It can also be a fantastic waste of time. And it can also just completely ruin your trading because you're taking in so much noise. 5% good information, 95% noise. If that 95% noise is going to mess up the 5% good information, you probably don't need to be taking trading advice on Twitter at all. But I can tell you, Woo Trade, I heard about it at $10 million market cap from a friend I met on Twitter. Spell, I heard about it at $10 million market cap from a friend I met on Twitter. 0x0, I heard about it at 500k market cap from a friend I met on Twitter. I didn't find any of those 3 projects. I heard about them from my friends that heard about them from their friends, or, you know, someone initially found it and spread the word and spread the word and spread the word, and it got to me. And back in the day, it used to be, you want to find something? Go on CoinGecko. Or, well, back in the day, it was CoinMarketCap, right? Go to the, you know, page 5 or go to page 15 and start looking at the low market caps and dig through. Click on every project. Go to their websites. Look at the charts. That's not really that scalable anymore. There's just too much garbage to go through all of this. You can still do it. If you commit a week of time, 10 hours a day, 70 hours a week to go through all of this, you can go through all of it and find the gems. If you're able to determine what is actually a gem. But it's very tricky. In my opinion, it's a lot better to have a good network, and know who to trust. Like, there's people that if they tell me something's good, I'm like, nah, all right, well, I need to look into it first. But like yesterday, my buddy Zor, he told me, yo, I think Ush is a good project. Like, I think this has got legs. I aped immediately because I trust him. I didn't ape, you know, big size. I aped money I can for sure afford to lose because I'm going to do my own research. And after that, I went and I did my research, and I was like, damn, there's some good stuff. And then I aped more. But 9 out of 10 times, guys, I am getting this information from my friends. And I will all day give them credit for that. I've even sent people tips, you know, if I do well. And I'm not obligated in any way to send anyone money just because they told me about something. But I'll do it. Because, like, I genuinely would not have known about it. Like, when I'm done on OXO, my boy Ryan's going to get a fat tip. He might not know it yet, but he's going to get a fat tip. Because he helped to enable me to increase my wealth. And I greatly appreciate that. I aped. I put my money on the line. I did the research after. But without him, I don't find out about it. Without him, 0x0 lifts off and I don't buy it because I'm pissed I didn't buy the lows. You know? Like, and I can just tell you genuinely, with OXO, if Ryan did not get me in on the ground floor and I saw this candle I'm probably not buying because it's one of my biggest flaws. Damn, look, it was in this range for a month. I could have built a big position. I didn't. I'm so mad. Screw it. I'm never looking at it again. But because he told me about it early on, I was able to build a position when I was really happy to. And only because of that am I making money. Not only, you know, I put my money on the line, blah, blah, blah. But it's all thanks to the network. It's all thanks to reaching out and talking to people. And obviously, I mean, you're not going to go on Twitter and reach out to Crypto Cobain and he's going to talk to you in the chat. It's not always going to happen. But there's times I've reached out to people that had no means or sense or reason to talk to me, and they did. And, you know, and you make friends with people that you'd never expect. And some of the best alpha on Twitter, some of the greatest stuff you'll ever find on Twitter is from a guy with 200 followers. You know, and some of the biggest garbage you will ever rope yourself into is from a guy with 200,000 followers. So, you know, make friends, talk to people, network. But also you have to learn what is noise, what is actually actionable, and you have to have your own set of, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? You know, you have to have a basis for what you're actually looking for. You know, what is actually worth this price? You know, how do I know OXO is good? Because in my mind, I know that a fully private DEX, a mixer, an AI smart contract auditor, an anti-rug bot, I know that's worth more than $6 million if it's successful. Based off my experience and based off all the other things I know about the space and other crypto assets and all that crap, you know? Best crypto stream you've ever seen? Thanks, dude. I appreciate that, dude. It's words like that that are going to have me here next week and the next week and the next week. And I tell people too, like Ryan does not expect me to give him a tip, and I don't owe him a tip. And if someone comes to me like, bro, I made bank on OXO, thanks, dude. I'm like, you're welcome, but you know, I told you about it, but then you made the transaction, you put your money on the line. Don't come to me if it goes south. It's not my fault. And if it goes up, it's not because of me. It's because you put your money on the line. You made stacks because of you. I played a role for sure, you know, but in the end, you know, it's on you. You don't gotta thank me if you make money on it, and you definitely best not come at me if you lose money on it. And I would never dare come at someone that got me into something, told me about something, and I bought it because it went down. You know, that's all part of it. And because of that attitude, I don't think I've ever had someone come at me and be like, man, you're an asshole for getting me into this. You made me click the buy button on my ledger. It's never happened. And as you be that kind of person, you attract more people like that. I'm all about the whole manifestation crap, you know, like, you know, want what you want and it will manifest. You know, be the person you want to be, and, you know, you will manifest other people like that into your life. Real talk, dude. I should do a psychology stream sometime because it's not talked about enough. I always try and put a little bit of the mental game and psychology into my streams because that is almost bigger than the actual execution. Being a good trader and stuff, the mental side of it, the psychological side of it. You know, if you're not at least remotely disciplined in your day-to-day life, you will not be a disciplined trader. And I'm not going to say I'm the most disciplined person. Not by a long shot. I'm actually extremely undisciplined when it comes to a lot of things, but I'm disciplined enough that I can be disciplined in my trading most of the time. You know, but if I was more disciplined in life, if I was more disciplined with my eating, with my workout routine, more disciplined in my relationships, I would be a more disciplined trader. Simple as that. So, you know, you got to focus on that stuff, and it's got to be talked about. Ooh, Tommy's actually bringing up a good point too. Yes, stick to the higher time frames. You think the guys that made bank on Neo were on a 15-minute chart? I mean, maybe. Probably not, though. The guys who are doing well, don't trail out. I'm talking about a trailing stop on daily and weekly candles. I'm not talking about, because, you know, look at this. This is a 15-minute trend break, right? There's some higher lows in here, right here. Oh, it breaks the higher low. Gotta get out. No siree. I mean, you can do that if you're scalping around, or if you buy, you know, 100 Neo, maybe 10 or 20 Neo, you'll trail out with your 15-minute. Maybe you're scalping that around to compound the bigger position. But your main size should be on daily market structure. Absolutely. 9 out of 10 times. Again, as long as you know your plan going into it. If you know you're playing a 15-minute trend and you're playing a 15-minute setup, then yeah, focus on the 15-minute. But generally, it's best to have, like, you know, do a top-down approach. That's the way to do it. You notice the monthly is doing this. The monthly is in an uptrend. Your monthly EMAs are all rising. All right, let's go to the weekly. Your weekly is in an uptrend. Your weekly EMAs are rising. Great. Let's go to the daily. Same thing. 4 hours, same thing. Great. You go down to the 1 hour to find your entry. But it's all based off the information from your higher time frame. When all your time frames align, that is when you're going to make the best trades of your life. And that's just facts. So yeah, I generally, and that's also because I have a long-term outlook on crypto. You know, I have some vested bags. I will not even get till 2025, 2026. I have a long-term investment portfolio for crypto. And I have short-term stuff too. You know, there's stuff I'm trading around on the hourly chart, but it's got to be split up. You want to have some stuff that you're in strictly on daily, weekly setups, for sure. The lower time frame kills. It kills. And good point, it gets you way more emotional. You know, you'll see a fat-ass candle on the 15-minute. You think, oh my gosh, oh, my whole thesis is broken. I knew it. This is just crap. And you go to the daily, it's like a 3% drop. You know, and then you realize, wait, 3 months later, it's ripping, and you got scammed out on the 15-minute candle, and you had no means being on the 15-minute chart anyways. You know? And it's not, I'm not hating on trading lower time frames by any means. I'll trade lower time frames. You can be successful trading lower time frames. There's a time and place for everything. But a part of your portfolio should only be for higher time frame trades. And that's why a part of your portfolio right now should be long, because this is the higher time frame. A fat weekly setup. This is the trend. This is the higher time frame trend. And the flip side of that, this is also a higher time frame trend. You know? But if you're in on the 15-minute, you probably got wrecked, you know? And I say it about 10 times a stream, but I'm saying it again, I'm not lecturing. I'm speaking from experience. You know, and the experience of others too. I've seen it happen. I've done it, and I've seen it happen to others. So I hope this never comes off as like I'm trying to tell you what to do, demand you guys do something. Absolutely not. You know, it's basically just my own trading journal and experiences, and I'm trying to elaborate on those so other people can find value in it. You know, I probably don't even need to say that. Pretty much everyone watches my stream gets that. But hearing that this is the best crypto stream you've ever seen, I mean, that brings a fat grin to my face. Because, you know, I look at the big guys streaming with hundreds of viewers, thousands of viewers. It's like, damn, that'd be nice. But at the same time, I like that when there's a comment in the chat, I have time to address it and talk about it as much as I want before the next comment. If there's hundreds of people watching this, you know, you guys that are here now are going to appreciate this more. Because if you make a comment, I'm going to address it. I'm going to talk about it as much as I can and feel like I should. But once, you know, this stream gets to 100 or 150, 200 people, there's going to be comments that get missed. It's going to be harder to commit time to each individual. You're essentially getting one-on-one training right now. And, you know, there's people that would pay me and have paid me thousands of dollars to do this for just, you know, a few trading sessions. And I'm here doing it publicly, you know, and it's fun. I absolutely love it. Yeah. Got that small classroom feel. Exactly, dude. Exactly. I don't know, Sauce Up, if you're saying that because if you're still in your job, if you already left, but having a job when you're in crypto is extremely valuable. Having a guaranteed income outside of your trading life is super, 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 super valuable. One, you'll always have capital to cover your life expenses. You don't have to take out from your investments. Two, you always have a means to add more to your investments if you're in a position to do so. Later, homie. I appreciate you tuning in, man. I don't know how you found me, bro, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're learning. But I know like everyone's goal is to not have to work. Obviously, you know, the first the first week I made like $500. I stopped working, but I was working, minimum wage jobs for the most part because I was a college student. It's different if you have a family, if you have kids, if you're in a real job, you've already got debt built up, you've got a mortgage and stuff. It's just different. But it's extremely valuable to have a career and a job that brings in guaranteed income. Yeah, you got to go to work. Yeah, you got to commit time at work that you could be trading. But that's also a good thing, dude. More time on the charts is not always positive for your equity value. It's really not. Sometimes having more times at the chart is a really bad thing. I've made bad decisions because I have too much time on my hands. I'm sitting at the computer 10 hours a day looking at something. It's gained me nothing. What have I gained? Back pain, butt pain, tailbone pain from sitting on my butt and not gaining anything when I could have been at a job bringing in hundreds of dollars that I'm not gambling away. Now, I'm not trying to say I'd rather be at work right now than here doing this by any means, but it is valuable, as you're chasing retirement, of course, and trading at home. It's extremely valuable to have that guaranteed income. Again, not saying every job's guaranteed. Obviously, people can get fired, blah, 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 but I hope you get what I'm saying. And when you're committed to that, you're going to be less emotional about your trades, potentially, because well, damn, if my investment goes to zero, I'm going to work tomorrow, and I'm making money. Guaranteed. I don't have to catch a good 15-minute setup. I just go to work and do my job, and I make money. Me, I have to perform. I have to perform. I made... if I make $1 million and I have $300,000 in tax debt, I have to make money to pay that off. And I have to keep going, and you have to keep going. You lose money on your investments, you go to work tomorrow. You make more money. Your boss doesn't care if you lose money on your investments, you just go to work. And that was kind of my plan in college. If I blow it in trading, that's why I went so balls to the walls when I started. If I blow it in trading, what do? The same thing I was already going to do, go to work. So it was kind of a no-brainer. I'm just going to go balls to the walls. But again, it's very personal, right? If you have debt and you have kids and a family, you just gotta be an adult and you gotta know what you can do for your own situation, what you can and can't risk. Turning my Twitter notifications on. Twitter notifications for me is a tricky thing, dude, because I post a lot of noise, a lot of stuff that's not valuable, memes, replies to my friends. Jokes, stuff about anime, stuff about manga, and then that 0x call, right? That 0x0 call is in there somewhere. That's why Blockcircle has so much more value than just following my Twitter account. And a lot of people don't want to be in a paid group. They want to just find everything they can for free, and you can. It's all out there. A lot of free information is out there. You don't need to be in a group, but for $100, you could be in Blockcircle, go to my trades tab, and see all my trades. You see all the 0x0 calls. You don't have to see me talking about manga and anime and shit posting and talking about political events and shit. You don't got to see all that. You just see all my trades. And it's $100. I don't think I've had anyone join Blockcircle ever tell me either that the value is not there. Everyone recognizes the value. So, maybe Blockcircle is something you guys want to get a part of, dude. I'm not one to come and shill my own business super hard. You gotta get in here, guys. You gotta do it. You do it if you want what we offer, and if you want to be a part of something like that. And the people that have joined over the years, they're there and they're gonna be there, and I'm gonna be there, and they recognize the value. And I guarantee you, the guys that were paying $100 a month in 2019 and they were tuning into the stream, they're all trading 6-figure portfolios now. Most of them, not some of them, I can't stop people from getting emotional and making bad decisions. No matter how much teaching I do, just like I can know all this stuff as an educator and still make the mistakes, it's up to you as the individual to actually follow suit and, do the work. Real talk. And cheers to you guys, seriously, because if you're not here, I have no one to talk to and I stream less. This week launches DEX. That's what I've been hearing. Testnet should be live in the next few days or the next week. I think Testnet might be on Polygon just because there was something with Ethereum's Gorley testnet or whatever that was not looking right with the DEX, so they're going to do testnet on Polygon, I think. And then assuming that goes well, there's not many bugs, they're going to work on upgrading the UI, and then the mainnet should go live in the following week, 2 weeks, 3, I think. I mean, the dev's not over here like it's definitely live this day because, you know, he might not know it's going to be live when it's ready. But, I do think I'm going to wrap it up here. I try to do streams only like an hour, but they always go longer because now that stuff is happening, there's just so much to talk about, and I have so much I feel like I can teach to people. But, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. I massively appreciate that you guys tune in and that you guys are active in the chat too, because if you don't ask, I can't help. You know, if you have a thought, if you have a question, just drop it in the chat. You know, the more lively the chat, the more lively the stream, the better the education, the better reach we're going to have. I mean, and a bonus for you guys thinking about, do I really want to sign up Blockcircle? $100 a month. Do I really want to commit? In the next couple months, we are going to have a full investment data analytics platform live that will be rivaling Glassnode, CryptoQuant, HighBlock. I mean, we're going to have all the tools they have and tons of proprietary tools that they don't have. And guess what? It's all included with your Blockcircle membership. And you get access to me. I'm an extremely responsive person. No matter how many people are messaging me, I get back to you within the same day. I mean, I'm not a slave or anything. I mean, I'll go on vacation when I want to, if I want to. If something happens and I have to go away, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm there, and I genuinely want to help. So I will be responsive and trying to help you out. Hi, what's up? Yeah, sign up, dude. We would love to have you. And my business partner, Basil, dude. A machine, man. Like, I mean, I'm pumping out value here for sure, but that man pumps out different alpha that is equally valuable. Like, you do not, you don't want to miss it, dude. I mean, the value we offer in there is ridiculous. For $100, it is actually just stupid amount of value. The Brazilian is the best 5 World Cups. I could mute this guy because it's clearly just spam. But who cares? This is the end of the stream. You know what? The Brazilian is the best 5 World Cups. You're right, brother. America 0 World Cups. Yeah, that's right. America 0 World Cups. Too bad Brazil's kind of... At least I can own a gun here. Ooh, that was a little touchy. Maybe I should have said that. I mean, I like both. The only thing I don't like about Ethereum transfer is that I'm always nervous that I'm going to send my Ethereum over, and then the 3 minutes before it arrives, Ethereum's going to dump 30%. It never happens. But that's the reason I mainly trade, or I send money in stable coins. But we're also roped into this mindset that stable coins are actually stable. And as we've seen lately, okay, this is getting annoying. I'm sorry, brother. I'm going to have to hide you on the channel. Sorry. No hard feelings. Nothing against Brazil. Your messages are just a little bit, a little odd, a little out there. Probably a bot. Yeah, freedom, baby. That's right. We got freedom in America, sort of, kind of, more than most countries at least. But yeah, I tend to just do stable coins. But I don't know, man. The age of the stable coin might be dying. And that's why my goal is to accumulate some Bitcoin over this next cycle and not be so reliant on stable coins. But for now, I'm a USDC stan. I'm a USDT stan, you know. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you very much. I'll be here again next week, same time, either 2 or 3 p.m. Join us in Blockcircle. It's a good time. It's 1,000% worth the money. And if you don't like it the first month, it's $100. You know, like, if you can't, you know, afford to risk $100 on something like this, then, you know, Blockcircle is definitely not for you. But if you think you can, then you definitely can, and you will like what's in there. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, you can catch me in Blockcircle anytime. I'm on Twitter, Discord. You can message me anytime, Telegram, whatever it may be. I'm pretty responsive. I'll have a video out for Blockcircle guys in the next couple of days. I know sometimes I forget that, but I'll try to have a video out by Tuesday, assuming things are developing fine. You know, we'll talk about the weekly close this week, all that stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. I appreciate you. Trade smart, guys. Be safe. Peace. Oh, last thing. I love you, Jesus. Jesus empowers me to do what I love. And I'm trying to be a better Christian, so I'd like to end every stream and thank God and Jesus for allowing me to do what I do, because without him, I can't do any of that. So shout out to you, Jesus. Really appreciate it. And that's all for me. I'll catch you guys next time.